goes for it, and he cannot get it! The tournament is over on the ultra crazy cliffhanger.
This will be Paul Roblox Rocky's final appearance.
He walks off! And just like that, the tournament's over!
Today, for the first time ever, 50 competitors will be competing in
He's our
SASUKE Craft.
last hope, the last for every challenger. 49 have fallen. It's all time. He overshoots the third bar. The tournament's over.
Today, we are about to see 50 competitors for the second time in a row take on the fourth thing off going around. And then
Jumps too late. He's out. And has fallen on the cloak rack. The tournament is over just like that.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 13th tournament of SASUKE Craft. I'm your host, Haim Galactic, and today for the third tournament in a row, 50 competitors have traveled here to take on the 4-stage obstacle course of Mount Midoriyama. No one has reached the final stage since Paul Roblox YT's third Kanzen Zeha in Tournament 8, but today competitors are looking to change that. However, they have a long and troublesome road ahead of them if they want to reach the final stage and achieve Kanzen Zeha. If they want to do that insane accomplishment, they will have to begin where they always do, the first stage. The first stage is an 8-obstacle gauntlet that our competitors will have to defeat if they want to make it to the second. It begins with a returning snakebite, which was the ninja killer of the last tournament. 3 ledges that competitors must run and jump across. Then it's on to the first new obstacle of the tournament, the blade glider. Competitors will have to use those set of rings connected to the handlebars to slide down the track while avoiding blades that move left and right. Then they'll have to land on a thin beam to transfer over to a stair where it's on to the hop rocket, making its second appearance in a row. Then it's on to the iconic jumping spider, a Reformation Era staple, and then it's on to another new obstacle, the hamster wheel. Competitors will have to jump in the wheel and then launch themselves around to gain enough momentum to land on the dismount platform without undershooting or overshooting. Then it's the Great Wall, which has been modified. Now there is a run back system, meaning if competitors miss an attempt, they'll have to run back to the start to try again. Then it's on to the flying chute, which was very deadly in the last tournament, and ending off the first stage is a new lumberjack climb, a board that competitors must climb up as fast as possible to reach the top of the first stage. Competitors will now only have 90 seconds instead of 100 seconds to clear the first stage, a 10-second decrease in the time limit due to the modifications. This course is not easy, but our batch of 50 competitors is ready to give it everything they've got against the first stage. And now that we've seen the obstacles that our competitors will be facing, let's take a look at some of our competitors taking on the tournament today. Jason the Worst came very close to clearing the first stage last tournament, and he looks to do so today. Raffle Games 122, the former host of Pixel Ninjas, is back from his break. Trevor the Beast 5 with our hotshot newcomer of the last tournament and looks to go back-to-back on stage 1. The Silver Seals are back. They both cleared stage 1 in the last tournament. Can they do it again? Our All-Stars are ready for redemption on the first stage. 3 of them were able to clear it in the last tournament, and now they look to expand on that number. Wipeout Boy 10 came out of nowhere to become the golden competitor of last tournament and is looking to make it to the final stage. Norwegian has been a very big breakout competitor in the Reformation Era, along with Jack and Boom, who reached the third stage and got 3rd place in the last tournament. Rounding out our field today will be number 50, your favorite hen, the New Star. Well, now that we have a good idea of our competitors that will be taking on the first stage, it is time to officially begin SASUKE Craft Tournament 13. Well, we have 50 inexperienced and experienced competitors ready to take on the first stage here in SASUKE Craft 13. And kicking things off will be the newcomer Tiger Yoshile, the trash-out veteran. Tiger, better known as Leon, how will he fare against the first stage? He has 8 obstacles and 90 seconds. And the tournament is officially underway. Leon heading through the snake bite. Gotta get this first one. Lining it up. He was nervous about it. Spends a lot of time, but he does make it nonetheless. One more to go now. And Leon going through. And oh, he just undershoots that third ledge. He probably ran out of speed from taking too long. Still, nice to have him compete. Next up on the first stage is Albino Star 9866, the Roblox Wipeout player. Better known as Captain Obvious. Let's see how Albino Star can do. And he has begun his first attack at the SASUKE Craft course. Albino Star traversing through the snake bite. And he just walks off that first ledge even earlier than Leon went out. Well, next up we have IXBZYPIX1225. But we're just going to call her Miyu, because that name is just keyboard spam. And Miyu, let's see how she will do. We have a female competitor. I believe we have 2 of those today. Miyu lagging a little bit as she traverses across, but she walks off just like Albino Star. Miyu is eliminated by the snake bite, the 3rd in a row. The next competitor taking on the first stage is Star Average 7722, the host of the Crystal Maze. Better known as Red Racer in the community. He recently joined, and we love to see new faces. He's from the United Kingdom, our first foreign competitor today. Let's see how he will do. Can we finally see a snake bite clear as Star Average? Moving along, one more to go, lines it up, and yes, he's got it. Nice work from Star. As now he's lining up the blade glider. Our first look at this. He looked like he timed it right, and he does, but he overshoots the beam. Red Racer, what went wrong on that one? He became the first competitor to defeat the snake bite this tournament, but here on the blade glider, he timed it perfect. That was really good timing, but what happened is he crouched too late, causing him to overshoot. He just didn't stop his momentum, and he is out. Well, next up is another newcomer. This is Go-Go Pepper, the MC Survivor player. He also hosts some of his own game shows. I believe they're Java, though. But let's see how Shiny Pepper will do. He's begun. He's going to purposely skip that pressure plate. Let's see if it works out. Lining it up. That makes the obstacle a lot harder, but he gets it. Nice work. And he's going to make it through. It pays off. Our second look at the blade glider. We just saw Red Racer go down here. As Shiny Pepper times it right, dodges and weaving, and he's landed on it. Alright, our first look at the Hop Rocket. Going through, and he undershoots the pillar. Shiny Pepper, what happened there on the Hop Rocket? He became the first competitor to defeat the Blade Glider, the new tricky second obstacle. But after he defeated that here on the Hop Rocket, it just looked like he jumped too early and didn't get enough momentum to land on the pillar. Still, nice of him to compete, and hopefully he comes back in the future. Because, if he can keep these good runs up, he has a good potential. Well, next up is our first regular of the tournament, Phantomai65, the host of Survivor Fruit Fighters. He was number 1 in the runner in the last tournament and failed the Hop Rocket, which is where his friend Shiny Pepper just failed. But now Phantom going through. I believe he also skipped the pressure plate. He's heading through. Phantomai undershoots the second ledge. I'm telling you, that pressure plate, it's useful. But Phantomai, he made that choice, and he has to deal with the consequences. Hopefully you see him back next tournament. Next up on the first stage is the Australian competitor, Topaz Neo. Topaz, he's been a little bit of a rising star in the community recently, especially in competitions like SASUKE Classic by Swerve T. But now, can he translate that skill onto a Bedrock competition? He's going through. Snakebite just saw Phantomai fail that jump, but he gets it nonetheless, and he will make it onto the Blade Glider. Topaz, he looks pretty solid in practice, but now he's just got to execute. He lands on the beam of the Blade Glider with ease, and it is now time for the Hop Rocket. He lines it up, and he jumps too early. Very similar to what K-Fly did in the last tournament. except he went for it, just did not land on that bouncer. Next up on the first stage is our first rising star, Wing Raider, the Star Challenge veteran and finalist. He has only cleared once, so that was in Tournament 7 a little bit ago. Hopefully he can get his second stage 1 clears here. Recently, he has not been doing the best. Last time he actually failed the first obstacle. As he is going through, he gets it. And he is now on to the Blade Glider. He's gotten revenge on that snake bite. Kevin lining it up, timed it perfectly. Oh, a little bit of a head hit there, but he recovers. That's pretty hard to do, actually. But now Kevin looking to be the first to beat the Hop Rocket. And he lands on the pillar, just got to get the dismount. And Kevin, that is the first time he's beat the third obstacle in the Reformation Era, as he misses the mount into the jumping spider. Kevin will not be going back to stage 2. He got his revenge on the snake bite and then became the first competitor to defeat the Hop Rocket. But then here on the jumping spider, just jumped way too early off that trampoline. Didn't even come close to landing on that first ledge of the jumping spider, and Kevin is out. Well, after Wing Raider's first stage run, the weather started to get poor. It is now raining on the SASUKE Craft course, which is currently making our competition crew debate whether to push filming back another day or to let filming continue. We'll keep you updated with the result of that debate. Well, it has been officially decided. Filming for SASUKE Craft Tournament 13 will continue even with the rain. However, now our competition crew is being very careful, and kicking off the rain runs, it seems, is JCat TV, the host of JM Sasuke. JCat is going to have to adapt to this course with the new weather conditions. It is not something that he's ever seen before in this competition, as now JCat is traversing through. Another newcomer from the United Kingdom as well, as now he's into the Blade Glider. Going around, and JCat lands on it. No, he doesn't. He slips off. JCat TV, you have to wonder, is the rain already starting to affect our competitors? TRD Games YT into the Blade Glider, and he gets caught up by that second blade, and he's straight into the water. Better known as Tons on Roblox, the host of Ninja Island gets caught up by the first blade. There's no saving that. Nightplex gonna skip the third ledge. Going around, he gets a really wide turn. He's gonna undershoot because of it. Frog wearing an invisible skin is in the water either way. Well, next up to take on the first stage is Tom Goey 1282, the Goward Warrior host. The last time we saw him was all the way back in Tournament 4, where he failed the first obstacle. And now he's looking to get some revenge on this new first obstacle, the snake bite. Tom Goey, better known as Goward. Let's see how he will do. Alright. He's going through, and he's gotten revenge on the first obstacle after all those years. And he's now into the Blade Glider, goes right for it. He times it right, but he's going to undershoot the beam either way. What just happened? Goward, what went wrong there? He got revenge on the first obstacle, but here, what went wrong? He timed it right, but he jumped when he hit the pressure plate. That caused him to hit his head on the downward part of the track, leaving him undershooting the beam. That is a very unfortunate way to go out, but hopefully we see him back in the next tournament. Well, we have now seen 14 runs on the first stage, and none of them have even beat the jumping spider. But looking to change that is a bit of a celebrity competitor. The 15th competitor to take on the first stage is the regular Excision, better known as Jordan. Jordan is the winner of Galaxy Survivor Cosme Stunt, and he made his debut in the last tournament wearing number 14. He would go farther than anyone thought, where he got all the way to second to last obstacle, the flying chute, before missing the rope. Jordan, he got 12th place in the last tournament. So let's see if the Galaxy Survivor Kaze-san winner can win SASUKE Craft. Now, that could be easier, that could be harder. Jordan said it's probably harder for him. But he knows he can do it. Jordan, one thing he has is a lot of confidence, and you need confidence in order to clear any obstacle or stage in SASUKE Craft. And that's what he's doing right now. He's made it through the snake bite. Now the new blade glider did not get to attempt this last tournament. It was the hanging hooks. But Jordan, nonetheless, is going to land on the stairs. He's going to skip the beam. First competitor to do that. And he lands on the hop rocket and gets the dismount. All right, can he be the first competitor to beat the jumping spider today? Lines up. He goes for a beautiful jump in. Jordan looks like he's going to go for the skip. Yes, he does. Jordan lining up the dismount. And he's going to be our first look at the hamster wheel. Jordan, all right, gets into the wheel. Press the button. You got to gain momentum as you go. And Jordan, he is going, but he walks off. Jordan is eliminated even earlier than he did in the last tournament. This new hamster wheel, the first attempt, and its first failure. What happened there? Jordan, he looked like he was having a steady run. I mean, he made the first 4 obstacles look really easy. He was the first competitor to defeat the jumping spider today. He went for that skip, which is not as easy as it looks. But then here, after he beat the jumping spider on the hamster wheel, Jordan, it just seems like he did not gain enough momentum. But what really put the nail in the coffin is when he tried to dismount too early. That caused him to jump late. And Jordan has been eliminated on the first stage once again. Another deep run, and hopefully we see him back in the next tournament. But Jordan, for now, is eliminated and will not be getting to the second stage. Well, next up on the first stage, we have the Russian competitor, Quiet Quail. He was the top newcomer of Tournament 11 when he was just one of 7 people to make it to the jumping spider. And in the last tournament, he failed the jumping spider again. But Quiet Quail, let's see how he can do as he's begun. Traversing across the snake bite. Beat this in the last tournament. Should be no problem. Quiet Quail has got it. Now the blade glider. He was a little nervous about this, but nonetheless, he's going to go for it. Punches midair, and he lands on the beam nicely. Almost overshot it, but luckily he is through. Now the hop rocket gets a momentum jump in, and it pays off. That was a really good bounce off that bouncer. As now Quiet Quail's into the jumping spider. He's failed his first 2 appearances, which were the past 2 tournaments. All right, he's got the mount. All right, the third ledge is what he failed in the last tournament. And Quiet Quail has made the skip and is now into the hamster wheel. A new personal best. We just saw Jordan go down. Quiet Quail going through. Oh, he has a lot of momentum. And Quiet Quail, oh, he loses it at the end, though. Quiet Quail is also down on the hamster wheel. What happened there? Quiet Quail, he finally got revenge on this jumping spider that he's been waiting for ever since he failed it in Tournament 11. But then here on the hamster wheel, he had a lot of momentum, but he cut it all off at the end when he waited too long to dismount. That killed all of his momentum, causing him to miss the platform, and Quiet Quail, for his 3rd tournament in a row, is down on the first stage. Maybe next tournament will be the time he can finally clear the first stage. Shadowrun moving through, and he undershoots the second ledge. Kaden Wyatt, an experienced Halo jumper, looking to translate that skill into Minecraft, but he is not going to. Misses the second ledge as well. We have not seen Cyrus since Tournament 1. Hopefully his return is a good one. It's not, as he also fails the snake bite. Brando moving through, and he overshoots the first ledge. Well, we have now seen 20 runs on the first stage and 0 clears. But looking to change that is the veteran Wild Sasuke 67, the host of Jakari's Castle. In the last tournament, Giacco failed the charge reverse, the 5th obstacle, the only one to do that. Giacco has only cleared the first stage once. That was all the way back in Tournament 2 where he got to stage 3. Last one was actually his 3rd best run ever, and he only failed the 5th obstacle, stage 1. Alright, Giacco now lining it up. spending a lot of time here. Jakari, you gotta go. Takes a lot of time. Jakari spent around 17 seconds on that first obstacle. He's into the blade glider. He was nervous about this. This is not an easy obstacle. Taking a lot of time, Jakari. You have to hurry. And Jakari gets caught by the second blade. It doesn't matter how fast he was going because he is eliminated. But let's take a look at that. Jakari, he spent a lot of time here on the snake bite. And when he finally got through here on the blade glider, he spent a lot of time lining it up. He just timed it wrong, got past the first blade, but that second blade barely caught him off, and he was not able to save it. And Jakari has been eliminated by the first stage once again. He will have to wait until Tournament 14 to try to make it back to not only Stage 2, but Stage 3. Next up on the first stage is the Roblox competitor. This is Kogi of Wisdom. He is most known for being the owner of Buddy, the most iconic dog in Minecraft jumping history. But anyways, Kogi, he has not been the first obstacle since his first appearance in Tournament 9. He's competed in every tournament since. Little Butter standing on the obstacle. I mean, it seems to help him as Kogi finally makes it past the first obstacle. Failed in Tournament 10, 11, and 12. And Kogi is through the blade glider with ease. If he wants a new personal best, he's going to have to beat the Hop Rock. He goes right into it. Kogi is moving very quickly. Seems he's taken Minecraft jumping a lot more seriously. He's straight into the jumping spider, and he gets it going right for it. Kogi, 60 seconds. This is around how much time Jakari had left beginning the blade glider. Can he be the first to beat the hamster wheel? Kogi of Wisdom lining it up, and Kogi goes for the jump, and he lands it. Kogi is the first person to attempt the modified Great Wall today. He's not up and in one. Kogi, there you see, have to use that run back. And Kogi is up and in two. Kogi, his fast pace at the beginning of the course has really helped him here, as now he has around 31 seconds as he gets into the flying chute. Kogi, he goes right for it, and Kogi overshoots the rope. Kogi of Wisdom is down on the first stage once again. So close to beating the flying chute. Kogi, he was able to get revenge on the snake bite and the first obstacle as a whole, and then set himself a new personal best when he beat the Hop Rocket. He also became the first person to ever defeat the hamster wheel. And then here on the Great Wall is the first to try the modified version. Did not get it up on his first attempt, but was able to get up it in two. And then here on the flying chute, what went wrong? Kogi, he lined it up, but in midair, he crouched a little too late, causing him to overshoot the rope. That is super unfortunate. Kogi, so close to reaching the second stage, but he will have to wait another day. Well, he was just watching Kogi, and now it's his turn on the first stage. The Trash Out All-Star, Jason the Worst. Jason in the last tournament failed the flying chute, walked off the slide. But now Jason looks to get his first stage 1 clear. And he's begun. Jason going through the snake bite. Alright, on to the second ledge and the third in the sand pit. And it's now time for the blade glider. Jason said this obstacle shouldn't be too challenging for him, and it will not be. He lands on it perfectly, and now time for the Hop Rocket. Jason, this is only his third appearance. Started competing in Tournament 11 where he failed the first obstacle. Last tournament was a huge step up for him, but now he's looking to expand his skills into the second stage. Jason gets the mount nicely, and it's just going to do what Kogi did and go right through. Very risky technique, but it's paid off. Now, the hamster wheel. Jason was nervous about this, but Jason, and going through, and he almost overshoots it actually, but Jason is now onto the Great Wall. Beat this in the last tournament, should be able to do it again, and yes, he is up in one. And now time for some redemption. He just saw Kogi go down here, and he felt it in the last tournament. Jason, lining it up, looks down, he goes for it. Jason has stuck the rope. Jason the Worst is now one obstacle away from defeating the first stage for his first time. Jason, he'll be the first to try the brand new lumberjack climb onto the pad and onto the vertical board. You have to climb this. If you land on any of the red ledges, then you are eliminated. But Jason the Worst, it's not gonna matter, as Jason is moving on to Stage 2 for his first time in SASUKE Craft. Jason the Worst, after waiting so long to get his attempt at the first stage once again, has put it to good use. Let's take a look at that run again. Jason, he full sent the jumping spider and was able to defeat it. And then here on the hamster wheel, he had a very scary attempt. He almost overshot it. And then here, he was able to get the Great Wall in one. But then, on the flying shoot, this is what he wanted, and he was able to defeat it. Jason then became the first to try the lumberjack climb. He made it look super easy. He had a lot of time to spare when climbing up. And Jason has become the first competitor to clear the first stage here in Tournament 13. Let's go down him and see what he has to say after that first stage clear.
It feels great, man. Totally first try, by the way. 100%, 100%. I'm surprised. Shout out Nora for teaching me how to do the flying shoot. Looking down definitely helps. Yeah, I don't know. Light work. Content on the way.
Well, a great clear from Jason, but now his friend wants to do the same exact thing. Jason Ward's coming up with him. It's Little Butter 66, another trash at All-Star. Butter cleared in his first appearance in Tournament 10, was the fastest time in Stage 1, missed Tournament 11, and in the last tournament failed on the Hop Rocket, the third obstacle. Butter looking to get his second Stage 1 clear, just saw his friend Jason do it. Can he repeat that success? Butter going through the snake bite, and he has got it now into the blade glider. Butter lining it up, and Butter times it nice, and yes, he will make it. Alright, now time for some revenge. Butter gets it, nice work. And now he is on to the jumping spider. Butter lines it up, goes for the mount, and he misses the mount. Little Butter 66 is down on the first stage. Let's take a look at this again. Butter got some revenge on the Hop Rocket, but here he just jumped a little too early. Any later, and he probably would have stuck them out, but Little Butter 66 has been eliminated on the first stage. Hopefully he can clear once again next time. Well, rounding out the first half of our competitors is an old friend making his return. The 25th competitor on the first stage is Raffo Games 122, the host of Pixel Ninjas. Raffo Games made his debut in Tournament 2, where he would fail on the jumped angle of the fourth obstacle Stage 1, and then would return in the third tournament, where he would come so close to clearing the first stage, but would unfortunately time up running to the buzzer. A truly heartbreaking ending. We would then not see Raphael compete until the 7th tournament, where he would have his worst run yet, where he missed the first jump of the entire stage on the rolling hill. And now, Raphael Games is back. Let's see how he will do here on the first stage. It's been a long time since we've seen him. Former host of Pixel Ninjas. Great competition. Raphael looking to become a great competitor here in SASUKE Craft, looking to cement his legacy. And he's going to undershoot the second ledge. No, Raph. What went wrong there? Oh, no. Raphael Games 122 just did not go far back enough to gain the momentum to land on it. And Raphael, unfortunately, out. 25 runs and only one clear on the first stage. Cam looking to get his redemption on the Hop Rocket, and he will. Failed this in Tournament 10. Cam 38. Full sends it. Nice work. Alright, can he finally beat the 5th obstacle? Cam going for it. He walks off. Oh no, Cam is down once again. ETN Dream failed this in Tournament 10. Has not gotten here since, but he is going to get his redemption. Alright, the hamster wheel. He was nervous. And ETN Dream. No, he barely undershoots it. He was so close, but he is out. Well, our next competitor on the first stage is someone who's retiring. The 28th competitor to take on the first stage is the veteran, Turkeyman1437. Turkeyman has competed in every tournament and has cleared the first stage twice across the first 12. In Tournament 2, he would become the first clear of Stage 1, where he would unfortunately fail on the brick climb, the second obstacle. After a streak of failures, including 2 back-to-back half-pipe attack failures, he would finally make his comeback in Tournament 8, where you'd have his best tournament by a mile. He would clear the first stage for the first time since Tournament 2, but Turkey Man did not stop there. Turkey Man would go on to clear the second stage well, being one of 9 to do so that tournament. When it came time for the third stage, Turkey Man went farther than anyone was expecting. Turkey Man would beat the crazy cliffhanger, something that no one thought he was going to be able to do, but he did not stop there, as Turkey Man would reach the cheese grater, the second to last obstacle, where he would fail to jump to the third ladder and would get 4th place. He failed the Tarzan ropes in Tournament 9, and in the last tournament would fail walking off the mount of the hanging hooks, the second obstacle. But now, Turkey Man, as I mentioned earlier, is retiring. His 13th and final appearance comes now. Turkey Man, can he put up one last fight in his final battle, or will he go out with a heartbreaking ending on stage 1? It is time to find out. Turkey Man, 8 obstacles ahead of him, starting with the snake bite. He's going to make it through. Now time for the blade glider. Has not gone past the second obstacle since Tournament 10, and he has finally done it here. Alright, failed the piano keys in Tournament 10, which was the third obstacle, and Turkey Man is through. His second best run in the Reformation Era already. Into the jumping spider, beat this in Tournament 9. Let's see if he can do it again here. Lining it up, and he goes for the skip, and he's got it. Nice work. Alright, Turkey Man into the hamster wheel. Just saw his good friend E.T. and Dream go down. And Turkey Man lines it up, and he's gonna make it, landing on that edge of the platform. Alright, Turkey Man into the Great Wall. And Turkey Man's up it in 1. Nice. Turkey Man, 2 obstacles left to go. He was very nervous about this flying chute. Turkey Man, the Thanksgiving meal versus the flying chute. He lines it up, and Turkey Man undershoots the rope. His career is over. Turkey Man, no, no, no. What happened there? Turkey Man, he finally beat the second obstacle for the first time since Tournament 10, and then was able to defeat the hamster wheel, the 5th obstacle, stage 1, which he was nervous for. And then here he got the Great Wall and won, something he wasn't expecting to do. But on the flying chute, what went wrong? Turkey Man, as you can see, just jumped way too early. Did not even come anywhere near that rope. And Turkey Man, his amazing career is over on the flying chute. A great run to end his career on. But he is out once again. Well, next up on the first stage is an upcoming star in Minecraft jumping who's looking to continue his success in the SASUKE Craft. The next competitor to take on the first stage this tournament is Crushery1087. Crushery has been a star in other competitions, including Craftscape 10, where he would get 2nd place, being one of 2 competitors to reach the 3rd stage, but he would fail the cliffhanger on stage 3, missing a flip, ultimately getting him 2nd place. However, Craftscape is not only where Crushery has had success, is he also cleared stage 1 in Star Challenge 7, where he would get to the 4th obstacle of stage 2 before unfortunately failing. Crushery's biggest claim to fame has been in Ender Challenge 16, where Crushery put on an amazing performance, getting 1st place, where he failed on the vertical limit on stage 3. Crushery made his first appearance in SASUKE Craft in the last tournament, where he overshot the 2nd ledge on the jumping spider. But now, Crushery looks to expand his success from other competitions into this one. Crushery, the Australian competitor and Craftscape veteran, let's see how this regular will do. Crushery, he just came out of nowhere as a star in competitions, and now looks to become a star here in SASUKE Craft. Going very speedy, as now time for the blade glider. Crushery now, he said his the thing he was most nervous about was his ping, which definitely could affect him. You can see he's lagging a little bit, but nonetheless, he's making this course look very easy. Now time for some redemption into the jumping spider, gets the mount, and he has landed on the 2nd ledge successfully. He has set himself a new personal best. It is now time for the hamster wheel. This was the obstacle he was most nervous about. This and the flying chute specifically. He's going through. Crushery lines it up, and he made that look easy. There's no need to be worried about that as Crushery's into the Great Wall now. Not up it in 1. Time for a second attempt. Crushery not up it in 2 either. See that run back mechanic really being used here. And Crushery is up it on his 3rd try. Now time for the flying shoot with around 30 seconds to go. Crushery, can he stick the rope? Lining it up. Crushery, and he goes for it, and Crushery lands it. Crushery has gotten on the rope with a flying shoot. Less than 20 seconds to go, though. He is going to have to hurry if he wants to clear the first stage. 1 obstacle left to go, and it is the lumberjack climb. Crushery lands in it. The klaxon is sounding. He is going to have to fly up this obstacle, and that's what he's doing. Crushery, can he hit the buzzer? Yes, he can. 2.5 seconds left. Crushery 1087 is moving on to the second stage for his first time. Jumps off of the stage 1 finish tower. Let's take a look at that run again. Crushery, although he was very laggy, he was able to stick the mount on the jumping spider and not overshoot the second ledge. Set himself a new personal best. However, here on the Great Wall, it took him 3 tries to get up it. This wasted a lot of his time, but he was eventually able to make it up on his 3rd try. And then here on the flying shoot, he spent a lot of time lining up, but it paid off as he was able to land on the rope and get the dismount onto the final obstacle. On the lumberjack climb, the klaxon was sounding and he gave it everything he had. And it eventually paid off as Crushery is cleared with 2.5 seconds left on the clock and has become the second competitor to move on to stage 2 today. Crushery, an incredible run. Let's go down to him and see what he has to say after that stage 1 finish.
I thought I was going to fail the flying shoot. Here we are, I guess. I'm really thankful because now I don't have to do another 100 more attempts to clear the first stage again and again.
Well, our Mr. 30 of this tournament is the OG SASUKE Craft veteran, Mr. Clay13, formerly known as Clay Gamer 13. He first competed in Tournament 8, where we last saw him as well, where he failed the first obstacle. And now, Clay, such an original competitor. It's so nice to have him back here in SASUKE Craft. Nice to see him compete again. Oh, but no, but he slips off. Clay. I mean, he did say he was washed, but that is just very unfortunate. Hopefully he comes back for Tournament 14, and Clay, unfortunately eliminated by the snake bite, fell in the first obstacle for a second time. Well, we are now moving on to our 31st competitor on the first stage today, and it is another competitor coming back after a little bit of a break. The 31st competitor to take on the first stage is Sentinix, the rising star formerly known as It's 77. Xavier first competed in Tournament 2 where he slipped off the first rope of the jumped angle, but came back in Tournament 3 where he would clear the first stage for his first and so far only time. Xavier would come so close to defeating the second stage, but would time up on the first wall after not being able to get under it. After missing out on Tournament 4, Xavier would unfortunately time up again, but this time on the last obstacle, Stage 1, the Subduction Zone. After this, Xavier would not compete until Tournament 9, where unfortunately he failed the jumping spider, missing the mount. However, Xavier is most known for being a 6-time Grand Champion of SASUKE Minecraft, the Bedrock Edition. And now Xavier is back. It's been a long time since we've seen him. Tournament 9, especially before that, just kind of made a random appearance in Tournament 9, but hey, I'm not complaining. I love to see Xavier run. One of the most passionate competitors about Minecraft jumping when he does do runs. It's not often that he does. But now Xavier changes gamer tag since his break. Sentinix now. But now he is into the blade glider. And Xavier lining it up. Goes for it. And it looks like he timed it right. Yes, he did. Lands on that beam. And Xavier is back to the third obstacle. About to say back to the hop rocket, but he hasn't attempted yet. Struggling up on the platform. Xavier lands on the edge of the bouncer. He is out. Xavier, what just happened? Xavier, out of nowhere. He had a really good attempt on this blade glider, but then here on the hop rocket, he struggled to get up to the platform, but he jumped a little too early. Way too early, actually. And that caused him to land on the edge of the bouncer where he gave up. This is very similar to K-Fly's run in the last tournament. And Xavier is down on stage 1 again. So unfortunate. Well, after Sentinic's first stage run, the weather has gotten even worse. The skies are grayer, the rain is pouring harder, and having to be the first player to face that challenge is the regular I Love You, better known as Kezin. Yeah, he missed the first jump of the entire stage last time, but it was because his controller was broken, which we did not know at the time of recording. But now, Kezin, he's back, missed the last tournament, changed his gamer tag to I Love You. Kezin going very fast right into the blade glider, and it looks like he's going to go for the stairs. Yes, he is. Kezin now, if you didn't know, the SASUKE Craft, that famous line, that is from this guy. He was the sideline reporter in Tournament 1 for Episode 1 of that tournament, and has done intro commentary a few times. Nonetheless, Kezin, he's not going to do that skip, but he makes it through anyways onto the hamster wheel. I mean, this is already a huge personal best, especially considering his last appearance in Tournament 11. Barely lands on there. And even with the worst weather, Kezin is making this course look easy. He's up the Great Wall and won. Kezin flying through this first stage. But now time for the flying shoot. He said he knows he can do it. It's just going to come down to execution. And then look at that. That was perfect. Kezin is now one obstacle away with 25 seconds left to go. Kezin, this would be the biggest comeback on stage 1 probably ever in SASUKE Craft. And Kezin, as long as he does not slip up, Kezin clears the first stage. A huge comeback, and Kezin will be moving on to stage 2. He's emoting. You know he is very excited about this result. Kezin, his Cinderella story will begin here. Kezin set himself a new personal best. He flew through this first obstacle. And then here, he skipped that being very similar to what Jordan did earlier. Did not go for the skip here in the jumping spider. I believe maybe the first better to do that today. And then here on the hamster wheel, he barely landed. He was angled diagonally. He was angled all wrong, but he luckily timed it perfectly, just like he timed the flying shoot perfectly. And then here on the lumberjack climb, Kezin, he was barely able to make it. You can see how close he was to slipping. But nonetheless, a clear is a clear. That's all that matters. And with 9.2 seconds left, Kezin will be going to the second stage for his first time. The third clear of our first 32 runs. Kezin heading on over to the fireman's pole because he deserves it. Kezin, after that incredible stage 1 run, you know we got to go down and see what he has to say for himself.
Very good. My hands are shaky. I did not expect to do it.
Well, our 33rd competitor on the first stage is my IRL friend, Trevor the Beast 5, the Mario Kart player. He made his debut in the last tournament where he cleared stage 1. The hotshot newcomer of the last tournament went down on the throwback on stage 2, the third obstacle. And Trevor's looking to go 2 for 2 here on stage 1. Number 33, Trevor the Beast 5 going across into the blade glider, a new obstacle. But Trevor is going to time it perfectly. Lands on the beam. It is now time for the hop rocket. Beat this in the last tournament. And Trevor, as long as he gets his dismount, which he will beat it again. Time for the jumping spider now. Trevor the Beast 5 lands the mount. Line up. Looks like he's going to go for the skip. Yes, he will. Now time for the hamster wheel. 53 seconds to go. Trevor line it up. Getting that momentum, and he does it perfectly, right in the middle, up the plank, onto the Great Wall. Beat this in the last tournament. Ooh, not up it in 1, though. Trevor the Beast 5. Second attempt, he's not up it. He keeps hitting his head on the bottom. You gotta jump a lot earlier than that, Trevor. And Trevor, he just cannot get up. 30 seconds to go. He has to make it up here if he wants any chance of clearing. And Trevor, no, he can't. Trevor the Beast 5, come on. Trevor lining it up. He lands on it, going around. What is he doing, Trevor? He basically walks off the rope. Trevor, under 15 seconds to go. The klaxon starts sounding. Trevor, come on. Can you at least get up it? He falls off the rope again. Trevor the Beast 5. He's not going to do it. Trevor is out of time on the Great Wall. Trevor, what just happened? Trevor the Beast 5 just sits there in sadness. Trevor, let's take a look at this first stage run again. Defeated the jumping spider. He was a little nervous about it. And then here on the Great Wall, it was just attempt after attempt. He could not make it up. He even landed on it and then just turned around and walked off, basically. And then he did it again, fell off the rope. And he couldn't even make it up by the time he landed on the rope again. Time was expired. He just jumped off. Trevor, just sitting there. You gotta wonder, is the rain really starting to affect this course? That's what Trevor thinks it is. That's what he told the competition crew. Well, the competition crew has come to the decision that filming must be pushed back another day. SASUKE Craft 13 right now is on hold. Hello everybody and welcome back to SASUKE Craft 13. We are currently here in day 2 of filming where the final 17 competitors must take on the first stage. And kicking them off will be the host of Kongahaishi, Mickey Cop 8. The last time we saw Mickey was in Tournament 5 where he failed the second obstacle, the downhill jump. That was his first and so far only appearance until now. Mickey Cop 8. It's been a while since we've seen him looking to set himself a new personal best. In order to do that, he has to get back to the second obstacle by beating the snake bite, which he will. Now time for the blade glider. Mickey, the first player to take on this course in day 2, and he goes for it, but he gets caught up by the first blade, tries to save it, but there's no saving that. Mickey Cop 8, eliminated by the blade glider. He waited all those years to return just to fail the second obstacle once again. We'll hopefully see him back in the next tournament. Well, next up, we have the start of one of the most iconic duos already, and it's only their second tournament competing. The 35th competitor to take on the first stage is Mr. Llama's, the new rising star. Llama was the first run in the Reformation Era where he failed on the reverse fly, and then came back in Tournament 10 where he did improve on that result, going down on the crooked cannonball. Tournament 11 was a bit of a setback as he failed on the hanging hooks, the second obstacle, but in the last tournament, Llama was finally able to clear the first stage for his first time. However, when it came time for the second stage, Llama unfortunately pulled a Jack's trash from Tournament 9 and hit his head on the throwback. But now, Llama is back on the 4th stage obstacle course here on Mount Midoriyama. The host of Llama's Minecraft Ninja Warrior, how will he do? Here we go. Llama looking to go 2 in a row here. Let's see how he will do. Heading across the snake bite. His other Silver Seal member, Madiv, watching. He'll be running next, as now Llama. Perfect timing through the blade glider. Alright, now into the hop rocket. Llama lands on the pillar just barely, and it's now time for the jumping spider. Mr. Llama's. He goes for it, and he sticks them out with ease. He's going to go for the skip. Yes, he is. And Llama lining up the dismount. Ooh, a little bit of a stumble, but is able to catch it and keep his run alive as he's into the hamster wheel. Llama going through the hamster wheel. Can he get the dismount? Llama, no, he can't! Llama walks off the hamster wheel. His run is over already. Llama, look at this blade glider attempt. This might be the best attempt we've seen in it all day. Then here on the hop rocket, he barely made it. After the stumble on the dismount of the jumping spider, Llama here on the hamster wheel just unfortunately could not get a jump. He had too much momentum and just could not get a jump off of the wheel. But Llama, unfortunate fail. Hopefully he can bounce back in the next tournament, but he is out for now. Well, as mentioned earlier, it's time for the second Silver Seal member to take on the first stage. Next up on the first stage is Matty the Div, the veteran. Matty made his debut in Tournament 6 where he failed on the music box and would not find success until Tournament 9 where he'd become the first stage clear of the Reformation Era. However, he would miss the third compressor on the triple compressor. In Tournament 10, Maddie would unfortunately go on the piano keys, the third obstacle of the first stage, and then in Tournament 11, went down on the hanging hooks, just like Mr. Llama's. However, in the last tournament, Maddie was finally able to get redemption on the first stage. However, he waited a very long time at the end, waiting to hit the buzzer, taunting, which would affect his clear time very negatively. When it came time for the second stage, Maddie would fail even earlier on the triple compressor than he did in Tournament 12, missing the second. But now, he's driving up in a car, the host of Bedrock Sasuke, the veteran Maddie Div, making a tower of copper golems. I'm not going to question what's going on, but Maddie, 90 seconds on the clock. And he has begun. Alright, into the snake bite. Maddie just saw his Silver Steel partner, Mr. Llamas, go down on the first stage. The hamster wheel specifically. There's K-Fly on the sidelines rooting for him. We'll see him run later. It's Maddie Div going to skip the beam. Looks like more competitors are adopting that strategy as we go farther into the tournament. As now Maddie is through the hop rocket. 5 obstacles left to go on the first stage. Maddie looking for his third first stage clear. He has never cleared the first stage in back-to-back tournaments. As he's through the jumping spider, punching at that. Maybe he's a little nervous. And now it's time for where Llama just failed. The hamster wheel. Gain the momentum. And Maddie the Div. Nice work. Maddie the Div is now into the Great Wall. Alright. And he's up in one. Maddie the Div. Now he was nervous about this one. The flying shoot. Can he get it? He lines it up. Maddie the Div. 30 seconds to go. Maddie fixed the rope. Maddie is now 1 obstacle away from picking up his third first stage clear and second first stage clear in a row. Maddie the Div. 1 obstacle left to go. Can he make it up? Maddie the Div. Climbing up the lumberjack climb. The klaxon's gonna sound, but it's not gonna matter. Because Maddie the Div is moving on to the second stage once again. An incredible run from the veteran, Maddie Div. He has really been a breakout star of the Reformation Era. I mean, look at this intro with the car and everything he started building with the copper golems. You love to see, creative intros here in this course. He full sent the jumping spider. It looked like he was nervous about it. And then got revenge for Llama here on the hamster wheel. When it came time for the flying chute, you could tell he was very nervous for it as he spent a lot of time lining it up. But he timed his jump perfectly, landing on the center of that rope. And then here, on the lumberjack climb, Maddie was able to climb up and press the button with 8.1 seconds to spare. Maddie the Div, for his third time, will be advancing to the second stage, looking to finally reach the third stage here in SASUKE Craft. Maddie going down to the farmer's pole. Let's go see what he has to say for himself.
That's all I gotta say. I don't know. Actually, that's cool. Yeah, bro. It's all for the silly llama. All for the silly stage, bro.
And Maddie the Div has become our 4th first stage finisher today. Well, from a newer sort of competitor to the most classic competitor we have in this competition, next up is only Breads. The last time we saw Bread was in Tournament 11, where unfortunately he failed on the very first obstacle. But now he's back for his second appearance. Now, if you don't know who Bread is the most classic competitor in my competitions. He was the original king of my competitions. He would get first in all of them. He even got Kanten Seha and Chikara a while back. That was his last competition until Tournament 11, and now he's here. Bread, he's been competing more consistently recently. Is he back for good? Who knows? He has retired a bunch of times, but there's something about this, series that just makes him always want to come back. He's not going for the skip here. As Bread, really taking his time. Goes for the dismount. He's got it. Nice work. Already a very good personal best for the reboot. He got first place in the original SASUKE Craft 1, if you didn't know. Bread almost overshoots the hamster wheel. Very close call. And now Bread might want to pick up the pace a little bit because he's not up the Great Wall in 1. Bread, he was not confident about this first stage in practice. He's up the Great Wall in 2. He's going to have to hurry, though. Bread spending a lot of time. Bread, 20 seconds to go. I don't think he has the time. Can he just get as far as possible? Bread for the flying shoe, and Bread comes nowhere near the rope. That was a terrible attempt at the flying chute. Bread. He set himself a new personal best, at least, when he beat the snake bite, the first obstacle. And then here on the jumping spider, he took his time on every jump. He spent a lot of time on this honey section, which caused him to lose a lot of time to the back half of the course. And it did not help that after he beat the hamster wheel here on the Great Wall, he could not make it up in one, where he spent a lot of time waiting to go for a second try. He was able to make it up, but here, he spent so much time on the rope, he went around an entire cycle for some reason. And then Brad, after struggling to hit the button a little bit, here on the flying chute, just jumped way too early. And Brad is down once again. Well, we are now moving on to our next competitor who wants a bit of redemption on this first stage. The 38th competitor to take on the first stage today is the veteran, K-Fly. One of the best Roblox competitors currently on that game. Now, K-Fly last tournament, unfortunately, failed the Hop Rocket. In Tournament 10, K-Fly got all the way to the reverse panel on stage 3, the second to last obstacle. He has the second best run of his era currently, and he's going very fast. K-Fly, you might not guess it, but K-Fly is a pretty fast competitor. And he skips that beam. Very interesting, but nonetheless. And he gets revenge. He didn't even stop. It looked like he wasn't even nervous. Last tournament was really unfortunate. Last two tournaments, especially tournament 11, he really thought he could clear the first stage there. And K-Fly is going very fast. Alright, spends a little bit of time to calm down, recollect himself to make it into the hamster wheel. K-Fly going around the wheel. Can he get it? Yes, he can. That was a perfect attempt. That should be the example for anyone who wants to defeat the hamster wheel. As he's up the Great Wall in 40 seconds to go. Now where Brett just failed the flying chute. K-Fly said he wasn't nervous about stage 1 at all. And it showed because that was a very good attempt. K-Fly, one obstacle to go with a little under 30 seconds. K-Fly running over to the lumberjack climb. Can he defeat the first stage for his 4th time? Stumbled a little bit there. But K-Fly, nonetheless, climbing up. Can he get it? Yes, he can. K-Fly with 13 seconds left on the dot. That is the fastest time so far. K-Fly, the 5th competitor to clear the first stage. Look at this. He got revenge. He made the Hop Rocket look so easy today. And then here on the jumping spider, he full sent the entire thing into the dismount, where he lined it up and he is able to get it. On the flying chute, he was able to stick the rope with ease. And then here on the lumberjack climb, he missed the button a few times, but when he finally clicked it, it was smooth sailing from there. His K-Fly was able to clear with 13 seconds left on the clock, the fastest time by a long margin so far. The 5th competitor moving on. Let's go down and see what he has to say for himself.
I'm so delighted to be back. I faced so many problems with this course, and it's just good to have some success, you know? It felt glorious. Well, I've never failed stage 2 on this course. Okay. I've never failed stage 2 on this course.
You actually have. Whatever. Well, it is now time to move on to the first All-Star of the tournament. The 39th competitor to take on the first stage is Caleb Plays YT824, formerly known as Ack and Oregano. Now, Caleb in Tournament 1, he failed the hammer dodge on Stage 2, but in Tournament 2, he was able to get redemption and clear Stage 2 first and so far only time. However, he would get pretty far into the third stages. He'd get 4th place when he failed on the cliffhanger. In Tournament 3, Caleb was able to clear the first stage once again for his 3rd time. However, the hammer dodge would come back to bite him, as he would spend so much time on it that it would cause him to run out of time on the first wall of the wall lifting. But you want to free to do that in that tournament. In Tournament 4, you time up once again, but this time on the final obstacle, Stage 1, failing the first stage. In Tournament 5, unfortunately, he would fail on the stop and go, the first obstacle, Stage 2. He would not compete again until Tournament 8, and it seemed like he never left. Caleb was able to clear the first stage once again, but unfortunately was the only competitor to fail Stage 2 that tournament, failing on the spider walk. After having to miss out on Tournament 9 due to a medical emergency, Caleb came back in Tournament 10 where he would unfortunately fail on the piano keys. In Tournament 11, he failed on the hanging hooks, missing the Neo. And in the last tournament, Caleb failed even earlier, missing the second hook. Failing the hanging hooks once again. But now, Caleb is back. Caleb plays YT, the host of Country Clash. How will Caleb do on the first stage? We are about to find out. 90 seconds on the clock. Caleb has begun. Alright, on the snakebite. Beat this in the last tournament. Oh, got caught up a little bit there. And Caleb walks off the first ledge. Caleb Blaze is down just like that. What just happened? Caleb, you can see here, just slipped off. He couldn't press his jump button in time. Caleb, that is so unfortunate. The first All-Star up today fails immediately on the first stage. Caleb, his tournament's over already. He's going to have to wait another day to get back to the second stage. Well, our next competitor is looking for a lot of redemption on this first stage, especially after his result 2 tournaments ago. Next up is the Host of Star Challenge, Corey Sneeko. In the last tournament, he unfortunately failed the flying shoot, but in tournament 11, he was one of 2 competitors to clear the first stage and became the golden competitor, where he failed on the second stage. Failed the crank dive for Corey. Looking for a lot of redemption, he gets the jump that Caleb just failed. Alright, now to the blade glider. Corey. Nice timing, and Corey Sneeko is now on to the hop rocket. That was a very good attempt. Landed on the edge of that bouncer. And now time for the jumping spider. Corey goes for it, and he sticks it. Nice. Going right for it. A lot of competitors starting to full send the jumping spider this tournament. I mean, it has been around since tournament 9. Goes right into the hamster wheel. Has a lot of momentum, and Corey, beautiful attempt. Now time for the Great Wall. Corey, he's up and in 1. Corey at a very fast pace. Looks like he might be going for the fastest time. K-Fly has that. He cleared with 13 seconds left. Corey jumps into the flying chute. Revenge has been achieved. Corey Sneeko, 1 obstacle left to go. 30 seconds left on the clock. Corey Sneeko, can he get his 4th stage 1 clear? Corey Sneeko, climbing up the lumberjack climb. Can he get the fastest time? It's going to be close. But Corey Sneeko has it in the bag. By exactly 1 second, Corey Sneeko gets the fastest time and is going back to the second stage. Hitting his little jig at the top of the stage 1 tower, Corey Sneeko, a almost perfect run. Look at this timing on the blade glider. It was perfectly executed and went straight for the dismount. He had a very good attempt on the hop rocket, landed on the edge of the bouncer, was able to make it through. On the Great Wall, he saved a lot of time by getting up it in 1. And then here on the flying chute, he jumped into it and got his redemption on the first stage by being able to clear the lumberjack climb as well. Corey Sneeko hitting the buzzer with 14 seconds left, the fastest time of the tournament so far. Corey moving on, sitting at the top of the stage 1 tower. The 6th competitor to clear. Let's go down and see what he has to say for himself after that incredible first stage run.
I'm genuinely shocked that I made it here again after last time. You know, failing a flying shoe. I almost did it again, but we finally are back. So, I'm happy. Yeah.
Well, we are now down to the final 10 competitors to take on the first stage. The 41st runner on the first stage today is the All-Star Jack is Trash. Jack was one of the original 11 clears in Tournament 1 where he would reach the 3rd stage after a very good performance on the first 2 stages. Jack on the 3rd stage would get 5th place when he unfortunately missed the jump to the 2nd ledge of the cliffhanger. After a first stage fail in Tournament 2 and not competing in Tournament 3, Jack is Trash would return in Tournament 4 and he would have an incredible performance. Jack and Josh would probably be the main breakout star of the Rising Era, as he'd be one of 7 to clear the first stage where he failed the double compressor on stage 2, but in Tournament 5 was able to not only get redemption on the second stage as a whole, would reach the final stage for his first and so far only time, becoming the first competitor to clear the third stage in the Rising Era. However, after he cleared the third stage, the final stage would not go his way. Jack is Trash would have a very unfortunate run, as too many mistakes on the deluxe bricks would result in him eventually failing, getting third place. He would wear number 29 in Tournament 6 for being one of 2 finalists competing in that tournament from Tournament 5, and would clear the first stage once again. However, he would go down on the 5th obstacle of Stage 3, the Trigger Trapdoors, missing the 4th set of trapdoors. In Tournament 7, Jack would announce his retirement from the course, but he would not go out with a bang. He would clear the first stage one last time, but did not stop there, as Jack would go on to become one of just 4 competitors to beat the most brutal Stage 2 in SASUKE Craft history. However, when it came time for the third stage, he would miss the jump to the second ledge of the crazy cliffhanger, providing a full circle ending, just like how he failed in Tournament 1. However, he would return right after in Tournament 8, where he would unfortunately fail the first stage for the first time since Tournament 2, failing on the candlesticks. In Tournament 9, Jack would get his revenge on the first stage, but would unfortunately fail the second stage this time, where he would hit his head on the support system on the first set of handlebars on the throwback. Jack's worst result came in Tournament 10, where he would shockingly fail just the second jump of the entire first stage on the Pillar Alley. He would get a top 10 finish in Tournament 11 when he failed on the piano keys, and in the last tournament, he came back once again. Jack, it looked like he was on a first stage clear run, but unfortunately the flying chute took him out when he walked off the slide. Jack is now back here today, the SASUKE Craft 5 finalist, the first finalist of 4, taking on the tournament today. Let's see how he will do, kicking off the final 10 runners once again for his 3rd tournament in a row. And Jack is off. Jack, the host of Minecraft Ninja vs. Ninja, Trash Out, Oh Sit, a lot of competitions. He's one of the most respected members in the community, one of the most influential as well. And, you know, he's definitely been a very influential SASUKE Craft competitor as well. One of the best we have. As now Jack going into the jumping spider. He's got it. Nice work. Jack is Trash. Now time for the hamster wheel. He was very nervous about this obstacle. Let's see if he can get past it. Jack is Trash. Lining up. Does he have some momentum? Yes, he does. That was a very questionable attempt. I mean, he has been lagging a little bit, so I'm just going to assume that was lag. But nonetheless, he's through. Now time for some redemption. Jack lines up the flying chute. Can he get it? Jack taking a lot of time. He does have the time to do so, but Jack walks off the slide. Just like Tournament 12. Jackie's Trash is eliminated on the flying chute. Oh, no, 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 Jack. Oh, my. Jack, he had a very good run going up until that point. He was able to get the Great Wand 1, made it look so easy. He had so much time left. But here, you could tell he was nervous. He wanted revenge. He spent a long time waiting at the top. And when he went for it, he just unfortunately could not get a jump. Just like Tournament 12, the exact same way. In back-to-back tournaments, that is heartbreaking for Jack. I think the nerves might have gotten to him. Jack is Trash. He wants to make it back to the second stage, but he's going to have to wait another tournament to make it back. The flying chute claiming another victim. Well, we now move on to another competitor who's looking for a lot of redemption. Next up on the first stage is the All-Star Circuit is Stupid. Circuit has competed in every single SASUKE Craft Tournament and is one of the most iconic competitors in the series. In Tournament 1, he would get second place as he was one of 2 competitors to defeat the cliffhanger, but he would fail the final jump of the third stage going down on the pipe slider. In Tournament 2, Circuit would unfortunately repeat his mistake in Tournament 1, but this time he would overshoot the final bar instead of just undershooting the final platform. In Tournament 3, Circuit would continue his Stage 1 and 2 clear streak, but would go down the earliest he had at that time where he failed the third obstacle of the third stage, the pinball machine. In Tournament 4, Circuit was able to clear the first stage once again. And when it came time for the second stage, Circuit would get the fastest time on the stage. But he would not be able to carry that momentum into stage 3 as he would fail on the ultimate cliffhanger just like the other two competitors that got there, getting 3rd place. In Tournament 5, he got revenge on the ultimate cliffhanger, but would go down just an obstacle later on the trigger trapdoors, missing the 5th set of trapdoors. In Tournament 6, Circuit would have his best tournament yet. He would come out of nowhere and get a speed record that still holds today on the first stage, clearing with 28.7 seconds left. And he did not stop there. Circuit would then go on to get the second fastest time on the second stage. He would then get redemption on the trigger trapdoors, and would then set himself a new personal best when he beat the 6th obstacle, the wall drop. However, Circuit would not be able to reach the final stage, as for his 3rd time, he failed the final jump of stage 3, found the pipe slider just like Tournament 1. However, when it came time for the Regeneration Era, that's where Circuit's career started to take a turn for the worst. He was able to clear the first stage for 7th time in a row, but for his first time failed on the second stage, where he failed on the 3rd obstacle, the spider walk. However, he would do even worse in the next tournament, where he would run out of time on the warped wall, failing the first stage for his first time. However, he did it again in the next tournament, where he would time up on the warp wall again in Tournament 9. In Tournament 10, Circuit would fail the jumping spider, touching the water on the first stage for his first time. In Tournament 11, he would unfortunately fail the piano keys, doing even worse than his result in the 10th tournament. However, in the last tournament, he was able to get to the flying chute before walking off the slide, just like Jackie's trash. And now, Circuit is Stupid is back, number 42, the All-Star. How will he fare against this stage? We are about to find out. He really wants to clear. He's been telling me how much he wants to try this second stage here in the Reformation Era. And you know, this tournament could be the tournament. We've already seen 6 stage 1 clears. So, it's been a pretty successful first 41 runs. As now, Circuit is going to skip the beam as well. Time for the hop rocket. Nice work. And now Circuit is into the jumping spider. Failed this in Tournament 10, but beat it in the last tournament. Can he beat it once again? Circuit goes for the mount. He's got it. Circuit is Stupid. Lining it up, and he gets it. Alright. Time for the hamster wheel now. Circuit is Stupid, gaining momentum down the wheel. And Circuit undershoots! Circuit is Stupid is down! On the first stage once again. Circuit. He was able to beat the jumping spider, something he failed in Tournament 10. But here, oh no, Circuit, he lost all his momentum. As you can see here on the hamster wheel, when he came down, he just lost all his momentum and came up way short of the dismount platform. Circuit. Oh no. That is so unfortunate. And Circuit, for his 6th time in a row, is down on the first stage. The hamster wheel claiming another victim. Well, from one all-star to another, the next competitor is looking to go back-to-back on the first stage. The 43rd competitor to take on the first stage is the all-star gamer Tim 3YT. Tim became the 2nd ever first stage clear in Tournament 1, and then went on to become the 1st ever stage 2 clear, where he got the fastest time. Unfortunately, he failed on the 3rd obstacle of the 3rd stage, the pole grasper. In Tournament 2, Tim would shockingly fail the hammer dodge on stage 2, and in Tournament 3, Tim would time up on the final wall of the wall lifting. After not competing in Tournament 4 due to a medical emergency, Tim returned in Tournament 5, where he failed the first stage for his first time, going down on the crooked wall. He would get his revenge in Tournament 6, where he'd clear the first stage once again, but on the second stage, he went down on the salmon ladder. In Tournament 7, Tim failed the first stage for a second time, failing the twin triangle, undershooting the second triangle. But in Tournament 8, Tim would have the ultimate comeback. Not only would Tim clear the first stage once again, Tim would go on to clear the second stage for his first time since Tournament 1. And when it came time for the third stage, Tim put all of his potential to the max. He would set himself a new personal best with a crazy strategy on the third obstacle, the drum hopper. Had a very interesting run on the vertical limit where he got glitched into crawling animation on the final ledge, and that all culminated in a 5th place finish when he failed the cheese grater. Due to that run, Tim would be promoted to the rank of All-Star in Tournament 9, where he would clear the first and second stage once again. However, on the third stage, Tim would unfortunately not get as far as he'd like, as he failed the third obstacle once again, failing the globe grass, getting 3rd place. In Tournament 10, Tim would clear once again. However, he would shockingly go down on the second obstacle of Stage 2, the brand new Escalate. This shocking fail was unfortunate for Tim, but in Tournament 11, he came back with number 47, where he undershot the first hook of the hanging hooks. However, in the last tournament, Tim would get his revenge on the first stage once again, where he would clear once again here in the Reformation Era, but just like Tournament 10, he would fail the second obstacle of the second stage, failing the crank dive, undershooting the second bar. And now, Tim is back to the course. The Hive streamer. Let's see how Tim will do. Gamer Tim 3YT. How will he fare against his first stage? And he is off. The 4th All-Star to take on the first stage has begun. Going through the snake bite. Can Tim make it? Alright, he's gotten onto the second ledge. And now the jump to the third ledge. Glide open. Tim walks off. Tim is out on the snake bite just like that. What just happened? Tim. Oh no! He made the first one, but then here he's going way too fast, didn't pause, and just slipped off the second ledge. That is so unfortunate. He did this one perfectly. He lined it up and waited, and then when it came to the second jump, Tim just walked off. He should have done what he did on the first ledge, when instead he just went so fast, and that caused him to fail. And Tim once again is down on the first stage. The snakebite claiming its second All-Star this tournament. Well, next up on the first stage, we have possibly the most looked forward to run of the tournament. The next competitor up on the first stage is Wipeout Boy 10, the new star. Wipeout Boy 10 made his debut in Tournament 5, where he would clear the first stage as a newcomer, but he did not stop there. He'd go on to become the first competitor to clear the second stage of that tournament, and would make it all the way to the ultimate cliffhanger, where unfortunately he would fail, overshooting the 4th ledge. In Tournament 6, Wipeout Boy 10 would unfortunately fail on the music box when he forgot to sprint, jumping to the second section. He would then fail the fishbone in Tournament 7, getting knocked off by a peg, and then failed the silk slider in Tournament 8. In Tournament 9, it looked like he was on pace for another stage 1 clear until he just did a 360 off of it. He would not compete again until the last tournament, where he would finally clear the first stage, becoming the first to do so. However, Wipeout Boy 10 kept his perfect Stage 2 record alive as he cleared with the fastest time. He also got the fastest time on the first stage. He would then get first place, going down on the ultra crazy cliffhanger. Wipeout Boy 10. How will he fare here on the first stage? He was the golden competitor of last tournament. Let's see how he'll do. Probably the most hyped up run of the tournament, Wipeout Boy 10, looking to go back to back. Now, if you don't remember last tournament, if he failed the first stage, his new star rank would have been taken away. But he was able to clear under the pressure, so maybe he can clear once again today. I mean, there's probably even more pressure this time just because of his result in the last tournament. He was the only competitor to get to the cliffhanger. He was the first to attempt the modified version of the ultra crazy cliffhanger. Unfortunately failed to flip to the third ledge. Wipeout Boy 10, around a minute left as he's into the hamster wheel. Saw Circuit go down in here earlier. Going through. Wipeout Boy 10. Oh my god! I don't even know if he got a jump off that. That was very close. But he's up the Great Wall in 1 with 2 obstacles left to go. Now time for the flying shoot. He was the first to beat this in the last tournament. Wipeout Boy 10 lining it up. Spent a little bit of time pausing to do something, I guess, and he goes for it, and Wipeout Boy 10 undershoots the rope, he's out! Wipeout Boy 10 is eliminated on the first stage on the flying chute. Oh no! That is shocking! Wipeout Boy 10, the golden competitor of the last tournament, is down. Look at this hamster wheel. I don't even think he got a jump. I think he just got insanely lucky with how much momentum he had. And then here he's able to get up the great 1-1. But look at this. He just jumped a little too early, I think. Oh, yeah, I think he was a few pixels too early. As you can see, Wipeout Boy 10, that is just so unfortunate. He had so much potential, especially after last tournament. But it's all gone to waste here as he falls on the flying chute. Wipeout Boy 10 is out. Well, as day 2 continues with filming, the sun is beginning to set for our final 6 competitors. And these 6 competitors are 6 of the best that we have in SASUKE Craft, whether it be because of their legacy or their breakout performances in the Reformation Era. And kicking them off is an all-star that made his return a few tournaments ago, and he is looking to make it back to the 3rd stage. The 45th competitor to take on the 1st stage this tournament is the all-star Trigger, better known as JT or Just Trigger. In Tournament 1, JT would get 3rd place when he slipped off the 3rd ledge on the cliffhanger. In Tournament 2, Trigger would do the unimaginable. Not only would he get revenge on the cliffhanger on the 3rd stage, he would go on to become the first competitor to ever defeat the 3rd stage. However, on the final stage, too many slip-ups would result in him running out of time. In Tournament 3, JT would unfortunately fail the final jump of the 3rd stage. In Tournament 4, JT would wear number 29, and he would have a dominating performance. He would clear the 1st stage, and then would go on to become one of 3 to clear the 2nd stage. However, on the 3rd stage, he would unfortunately overshoot the 4th ledge, getting 2nd place. JT's best tournament came in Tournament 5, where he would wear number 148, where he would clear the 1st stage for his 5th tournament in a row. On the 2nd stage, he would clear it once again, also making it 5 for 5. However, on the 3rd stage is where things really excelled. JT would become the 2nd competitor to clear in the Rising Era, clearing the 3rd stage for a 2nd time. On the final stage, JT looked like he was going to achieve a constant Seiha, but too many slip-ups on the rope eventually caused him to run out of time. However, he would get 1st place for his first and so far only time. After not competing for a long time, he would return to Tournament 11 where he failed on the piano keys, resulting in his first stage failure. Last tournament, he came back wearing number 44 and would clear the 1st stage, getting revenge and clearing it for his first time since Tournament 5. On the 2nd stage, JT looked like he was on pace for a clear. However, he unfortunately failed to jump to the 3rd compressor on the triple compressor. And now, JT is back once again for his 8th appearance. In his first 7 appearances, he's cleared the 1st stage 6 times. Tournaments 1 through 5 and the last tournament. JT, one of the most storied competitors we have out here. He's a competitor that's going to give it his all no matter what. Tournament 11, when he came back, said he was really disappointed with his failure and improved in the last tournament where he got his revenge. JT finished in 5th place last tournament as he makes it through the blade glider, skipping that beam. Now time for the hop rocket, using the wall on the fence to get some more height for his momentum jump. Whatever works. I mean, he made it through. Alright, now time for the jumping spider. Doing a weird momentum technique, but it pays off. That is a very risky technique to do on that trampoline. But nonetheless, JT is through with around 55 seconds for the final 4 obstacles. Time for the hamster wheel. Going around the wheel, gaining momentum. JT, line up, he goes for it, and perfect attempt. JT, he was nervous about that one, and now it's time for the Great Wall. He's not up it in 1, gotta go back. Going for his 2nd attempt at the wall, and he gets up it. He's up it in 2. Struggled a little bit on that rope. But now it is time for the flying chute. We just saw Wipeout Boy 10 go down here. JT lines it up. Sticks it with ease. JT, 1 obstacle away with 20 seconds. Might want to pick up the pace a little bit. JT, Trigger, Just Trigger, whatever you want to call him. is onto the lumberjack climb. Alright, he is climbing up. Just do not make a mistake. The klaxon sounding, but he does have the time. JT is moving on once again. 4.4 seconds left on the clock. He has done it. JT moving on to the second stage once again. Let's take a look at that run again. JT, this was perfect timing on the blade glider. He even skipped on the beam there. And then he used the wall on the side of the fence for the hop rocket to help him gain momentum. And then here, this was his riskiest strategy yet. He did a double jump technique to gain momentum. It is very risky to do on the jumping spider trampoline, but he made it pay off as he was able to defeat the obstacle. On the Great Wall, he messed up on his first attempt, but luckily he was able to get up in two. He struggled a little bit on the rope, but nonetheless, he was able to get up. And then here on the flying chute, he made it look easy. Stuck the rope perfectly. With the pressure on and the klaxon sounding, JT was able to climb up the lumberjack climb, hitting the buzzer with 4.4 seconds left on the clock. JT going back to the second stage, celebrating with Norwegian and Paul Roblox YT. Our seventh clear. Let's go see what he has to say.
I feel phenomenal. As a Java player, I'm retired from Banjo-Tooie. I genuinely low-key genuinely didn't think I was gonna have it, but I somehow pulled through. Because of this win, I think I'm fading stage 2, I'm not real. But I made it, and my career, I've only failed stage 1 once, and like every other time I passed stage 1, so like I'm pulling through. I'm back on. I'm in my prime now. But yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Well, from one competitor who was a star in the past to a competitor who has become a star now, we have our next competitor. And it is Norwegian, the Roblox competitor, who's also a veteran. Nor debuted in Tournament 6, where he jumped off, and it looked like he was just going to be another joke competitor, where he fell early. However, that would all change at the start of the Reformation Era. Nor taking seriously, and probably would have cleared the first stage if he didn't make a simple mistake where he'd missed the mountain climb, the final obstacle. In Tournament 10, Nor would pick up his first Stage 1 clear on his 5th appearance. However, on the second stage, he would unfortunately go down on the candle cling, overshooting the third candle. In Tournament 11, Nor would be just one of 2 competitors to defeat the first stage. He would be the last man standing that tournament, where he would unfortunately fail on the crank dive, overshooting the third bar. However, in the last tournament, Nor returned wearing number 49. He would clear the first stage for his 3rd time overall and 3rd tournament in a row, but on the second stage, he would fail the candle king once again, but this time he would walk off the 3rd candle. Nor, one of the breakout stars of the Reformation Era. We've seen a few of them, but Nor, in my opinion, is probably the best breakout. I mean, he came started as a joke competitor, and he probably would be the only competitor to clear in every Reformation Era tournament if he didn't make that simple mistake in Tournament 9. But nonetheless, he has begun his run, going through the snake bite. Nor, he said he was very nervous for this first stage of this tournament. Hopefully that doesn't get to his head. I mean, we have seen a lot of shocking fails already. Nor trying not to be one of them. Looking to become our 8th Stage 1 finish. He's going through and is into the jumping spider. Nor going through, sticks the mount. Gonna stick the second ledge instead of full sending it like a bunch of other people have today. And Nor is through the jumping spider. Nice work. Now time for the hamster wheel. He was also nervous for this obstacle a lot, but nonetheless, he makes it look easy. Nor is now onto the Great Wall. Can he get up it in one? Yes, he can. Nice job, Nor. Alright, 37 seconds left for the final 2 obstacles, beginning with the flying chute. Nor says he's found the meta for this. Is it true? Yes, it is. That was perfect. And Nor gets to dismount. Now, he did do that 4-block skip there in the last tournament. That's been blocked off, so now you have to take the entire path. But nonetheless, Norwegian is now on to the lumberjack climb. Nor looks like he's going to be getting his 4th Stage 1 clear in a row. And yes, he will. With 8.3 seconds left on the clock, Norwegian is going back to the 2nd stage. Nor keeping his clear streak alive. He currently has the longest active clear streak, so that's pretty cool. Nor, let's take a look at this run again. I mean, this snake plate attempt was really smooth. And then Nor here on the hamster wheel, despite him being nervous, he made it look so effortless and easy. Then he was able to get up the Great Wall in his first try, which saved him a lot of time. And then here on the flying chute, Nor, he has a strategy of looking down at the slide when he does it, and it paid off once again. Nor was then able to climb up the lumberjack climb, hitting the buzzer in time to advance back to the second stage, where he will finally have another chance at redemption. Norwegian celebrating at the top of the first stage tower, our 8th competitor to finish. Heading down the fireman's pole, let's go to see what he has to say for himself.
I don't even know what to say. I did not think I would be able to do it, but I did. I'm kind of happy with that. I had a lot of work going into it, mainly with the jumping spider and most of all the flying chute. A little bit with the second obstacle. Once you find the method for that one, it's pretty hard to fail it. Although it is possible, every single obstacle here is jumpable. I'm big too fast. I'm feeling really good. I have had a lot of troubles with the second stage, especially with obstacles that start with C and end with Andal Cling.
Well, we are now down to just 4 competitors left on the first stage, and next up is another one of the breakout stars in the Reformation Era, and it is none other than Giacco Boom, the new star. Boom made his debut in Tournament 6, where he fell on the flying chute, and then would get first place in SASUKE Craft Clash Edition 1, so he'd wear number 26 in Tournament 7, where he unfortunately fell on the silk slider, the second obstacle of the first stage. In Tournament 8, however, Boom would come out of nowhere to clear the first stage for his first time. On the second stage, Boom would continue his clear streak, advancing with ease. He would then unfortunately fail on the swing edge, where he walked off the second shelf. After not competing in Tournament 9, he cleared the first stage once again in Tournament 10, where he unfortunately failed on the escalate, missing the scaffolding. In Tournament 11, he would get 3rd place when he failed on the flying chute, being one of 3 competitors to beat the jumping spider that tournament. And in the last tournament, Giacco Boom would get back to the 3rd stage. After an incredible first stage finish, Giacco Boom would get his revenge on the second stage, being one of 3 competitors to clear it. However, when it came time for the 3rd stage, he would unfortunately fail the first transfer of the silk swing, getting 3rd place. And now Boom is back once again here to the SASUKE Craft course. There's that fishing rod. The Star Challenge legend is up. Yeah, that fishing rod, goat horn, wind charge, he likes to fool around. He's a little bit of a prankster, but he is a very talented jumper. Let's see how Boom will do on the first stages. He's begun his 90-second attack. Boom. He cleared this stage in the last tournament, and now trying to clear it again. There's Nora and Paul Roblox YT in the background. Nora just cleared one of Giacco Boom's good friend. Giacco Boom looking to join him, as now he is into the jumping spider. This obstacle hasn't been too difficult today, but he's going to take out Giacco Boom! Boom is down on the jumping spider. His tournament is over much earlier than we expected. Boom, what just happened? He had a very good run up to that point, and then here he just jumped too early. Boom. A few pixels too early on the jumping spider. You can see. Look at it. Oh, he was so close. I think maybe even a pixel later and he could have made that jump on to the jumping spider. Giacco Boom is out on the first stage out of nowhere. Well, we are now down to just the final 3 competitors on the first stage. And next up is one of the most iconic faces of this franchise. The next competitor to take on the first stage is Blushy Baby Kai, the All-Star. Kai has competed in every SASUKE Craft Tournament, being one of 4 to do so. In Tournament 1, he unfortunately failed on the Speed Spiral on Stage 2, but in Tournament 2, he would bounce back, getting all the way to the Pole Grasper on Stage 3. Kai would break through in the 3rd tournament, where he would finally reach the final stage for his first time in a Minecraft jumping competition. However, his final stage run would end much earlier than he wanted, as he failed to jump to the 4th cannonball on the cannonball climb. He would wear number 30 in Tournament 4 due to Paul Roblox YT not competing, and he would clear the first stage. Kyle would then be one of 3 competitors to reach the 3rd stage of that tournament, where he would get his first and so far only first place, where he walked off the 5th ledge of the ultimate cliffhanger. In Tournament 5, he would clear the first stage once again, but would shockingly fail on Stage 2, going down on the salmon ladder. He would get his revenge on the second stage in Tournament 6, and would then go on to get his revenge on the ultimate cliffhanger, where he would defeat it. However, his celebration would end very shortly, as he would miss the jump to the fifth set of trapdoors on the triggered trapdoors. In Tournament 7, he would get revenge on the triggered trapdoors on the third stage, but would unfortunately fail the flip on the crazy cliffhanger, getting third place that tournament. Kai's best tournament came in Tournament 8, where he would clear the first stage for his 8th tournament in a row. He would then go on to become one of 9 competitors to defeat the second stage of that tournament, and he did not stop there. Kai would get his revenge on the crazy cliffhanger, and would then go on to become the first competitor to defeat the third stage in the Regeneration Era. Although he was able to get back to the final stage, he would not be able to achieve Kansenseiha, but would set himself a new personal best where he ran out of time with 2 jumps left to go on the final rope. Kai would have the closest finish ever in SASUKE Craft in SASUKE Craft 9 on the second stage, and then would get second place when he missed the jump to the third ledge on the ultra crazy cliffhanger. He would get his 10th stage 1 clear overall and in a row in Tournament 10, and would unfortunately fail on the second stage once again where he slipped off the candle cling on the hanging candle. In Tournament 11, Kai would unfortunately fail the first stage for his first time, where he walked off the third ledge of the jumping spider. However, he would still get 4th place that tournament, due to only 7 people reaching the jumping spider. Last tournament, Kai got his revenge wearing number 50, but unfortunately overshot the second bar of the crank dive. And now Kai sets his sight on the final stage. Kai thinks that in a few tournaments, maybe even this one, that he can achieve Kansenseiha for his first time in a Minecraft jumping competition. The top of the tower, staring down at the start line of the first stage, where blushy baby Kai awaits to begin his first stage attack. Can this all-star who made it to the final stage in SASUKE Craft 3 and 8 make it back here in Tournament 13? He has a long road ahead of him, beginning with the first stage. And he's begun. Blushy baby Kai is off. Kai, number 48 this tournament. He was number 50 last time. Kai, a very interesting technique, but it pays off. I don't know how that worked. And now time for the Blade Glider. Kai looking to get his 12th Stage 1 clear. Currently at 11. That is crazy. He's competed in every tournament and only failed the first stage once. And now he's in Tournament 11, the Bloodbath tournament. Alright, Blushy Baby Kai into the obstacle. He failed that tournament, the Jumping Spider. And he walked off this ledge right here, the third ledge. And yes, he's got it. Blushy Baby Kai into the back half of the course, beginning with the hamster wheel. He was a bit nervous about this obstacle, he said. But nonetheless, he's gaining a lot of momentum. And Kai is going to make it. Climbing up that plank, and it is now time for the Great Wall. Blushy Baby Kai. He gets it in one. Nice job, Kai. He's never been the best at that obstacle. Struggling a little bit to hit the button. Come on, Kai. He is on mobile, our last mobile player of the tournament. So hitting buttons in midair is a little harder for mobile players. Kai, time for the flying shoot. Sticks it. Nice work. Crouched a little early there, but luckily he's still able to make it. 20 seconds left. Now 17 as he has one obstacle left to go. Kai, can he get his 12th stage 1 clear? He's going to have to go. And the klaxon is sounding. He has the time. Just do not make a mistake, Kai. Blushy Baby Kai is moving on. Barely. He almost failed that lumberjack climb. But Kai, for his 12th time, will be going to the second stage. That was incredible. Blushy Baby Kai. Let's take a look at that run again. Kai, he was able to defeat the Hop Rocket with ease. And then here on the Jumping Spider, the obstacle he failed in Tournament 11, he was able to defeat it this time. Once again, just like the last tournament. And then here on the Flying Shoe, it looked like he crouched a little early and might have undershot it, but was barely able to cling onto that rope. And then was able to make the dismount. And then here on the Lumberjack climb, Kai barely made it up this. He had a little bit of a slow climb as he was running out of time. And you can see he barely had enough levitation to make it up and hit the buzzer. Kai, our 9th finisher here on the first stage. His hopes for Kansenseiha will continue. Let's go hear what he has to say after that first stage run.
I feel great. I feel amazing. I feel, yeah. I was really nervous with the flying shoot, and then I could sell it forward, hit the thing, jumped, and then I won.
Well, Kai, an incredible run in his track for Kansenseiha will continue. Well, speaking of Kansenseiha, that is something that has happened 3 times in this course, all by the same person. And now, he's back. Next up on the first stage is the 3-time Grand Champion and All-Star, Paul Roblox YT. Paul got the fastest time in the first stage in Tournament 1, but would unfortunately get 4th place where he failed to jump to the 3rd ledge on the cliffhanger. In Tournament 2, he would get revenge on that cliffhanger and then would go on to join Just Trigger on the final stage of that tournament. However, on the final stage, it looked like Paul was going to achieve Kansenseiha. However, he stopped 1 jump too early, and that caused him to run out of time at the top of the tower. However, in Tournament 3, Paul would do the unthinkable. He would set a speed record for the time, until that was broken by Circus Stupid in Tournament 6 on Stage 1, and would then make it back to the final stage. However, this time, things went differently. Paul was able to achieve Kansenseiha with 2.4 seconds left on the clock. He would not compete in Tournament 4, but in Tournament 5, he would wear number 150, where he would barely clear the first stage with 0.1 second left. On the second stage, he would become one of 7 to clear the second stage, and he would then make it to the final stage, being one of 3 to do so. On the final stage, Paul would not have the best run at it, as he would forget to sprint and would undershoot the mount of the final rope. In Tournament 6, however, Paul would do something that no one thought he ever would. He would make it back to the final stage for his technically 4th time in a row. However, things went a lot differently. Paul would become a 2-time Grand Champion, achieving Kansenseiha twice before anyone else did it once. In Tournament 7, Paul would be one of 4 to make it to the 3rd stage, where he would get 1st place. Everyone thought he was going to make it back to the final stage, but he would unfortunately fail the final jump of the 3rd stage. In Tournament 8, however, he would get his revenge and would make it back to the final stage for his 5th time. And he would do it once again, achieving Kansenseiha for his 3rd time. In Tournament 9, Paul would clear once again for his 8th time, but would unfortunately run out of time on the 2nd stage, failing to get to the 3rd stage for his 1st time. The last time we saw Paul was in Tournament 10, where he would clear the 1st stage. After announcing retirement, he would get revenge on the tackle on Stage 2, and would then put up the best run of the Reformation Era so far when he walked off the 3rd panel of the reverse panel. And now Paul is back. The final stage looms over Mount Midoriyama, but Paul is the man to get there, if anyone can. Paul walks up to the starting line. He's back, coming out of retirement. The triple Grand Champion. How will Paul Roblox YT fare against this first stage? The second to last runner. The first time since Tournament 1 he has not been the last runner of Stage 1. And he is off. Paul Roblox YT traversing through onto the second ledge of Snakebite. He's never faced this obstacle before. Alright. Paul into the Blade Glider. Going around, times it nice. He's got it, skipping that beam. Into the Hop Rocket. Does momentum technique. Paul is now on PC. In his first 9 tournaments, he was on mobile, but now here in his 10th appearance, he's on PC. Alright, this is the first obstacle he's faced before, the Jumping Spider, and he makes it through. Now for the Hamster Wheel. Now, important thing to note is that Paul's looking to become just the 2nd competitor to reach 10 clears on the first stage. The only other person to do that is Blushy Baby Kai, who just cleared. Paul now in to the Great Wall. Faced this in Tournament 10, this version of it, and he's up it in 1. Now, Paul's never faced this version of the Flying Chute. How will he fare? He was very nervous about it. Paul, spending some time line up. He goes for it. Paul sticks it. Paul is through the Flying Chute with 1 obstacle to go. The Lumberjack Climb. Can Paul get his 10th Stage 1 clear? He's never failed the stage before. And all that stands between him and keeping that record alive is the Lumberjack Climb. He got a good jump up. Climbing. Paul's gonna do it. Paul is going back to the 2nd stage with 12.7 seconds left. Paul has done it. Yes, Paul, the 2nd competitor to reach 10 Stage 1 clears here in SASUKE Craft. Let's take a look at that run again. Paul, he was nervous about the Jumping Spider, but he was able to make it through. He made it look so easy. Here on the Hamster Wheel, he had a very good attempt at the obstacle. And then here on the Great Wall was able to get up in one. Paul was moving across his first stage, but he spent some time waiting before the flying shoe. Clearly he was nervous about this. He said this was the obstacle he was most nervous about, but nonetheless he was able to stick it with ease. And Paul was able to climb up the lumberjack climb to hit the buzzer for his 10th time here on the first stage. Paul, an incredible finish. Paul, our 10th competitor, moving on, celebrating with Norwegian, who also cleared. And Paul Roblox YT, we will see the Triple Grand Champion back on the second stage. Congratulations, Paul. You've done it once again. Just an incredible run. The Triple Grand Champion, he's back. Well, we have seen 49 runs on the first stage, and 10 of them have cleared. And now it is time for Mr. 50 of Tournament 13. The honor of this tournament will go to the new star, your favorite hen, who made his debut in Tournament 6. Hen would have a very strong debut tournament as he would clear the first stage. He would then go on to become one of 7 to clear the second stage. He would become the top newcomer of that tournament where he failed on the 6th obstacle, the wall drop, where he missed the climbing wall. He would clear the first stage once again in Tournament 7, but this time he would unfortunately fail on the second stage, failing the double compressor as he was running out of time. However, in Tournament 8, Hen would get his revenge on the double compressor and the second stage as a whole. When it came time for the third stage, Hen would put up a very strong performance, but would unfortunately fail the final jump of the third stage, getting third place when he failed the pipe slider. In Tournament 9, Hen would clear once again, and then would become one of 3 competitors to defeat the second stage. On the third stage, Hen would fail the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger, but this would be enough to become the golden competitor, getting that title for his first and so far only time. In Tournament 10, he would fail the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger again, this time missing the second ledge instead of the third. Hen would wear number 50 in Tournament 11, being the first ever number 50, but would unfortunately slip off the back of the third hook on the hanging hooks. In the last tournament, Hen would wear number 48 and would put up a very strong performance. Hen would clear the first stage once again, getting his revenge, and would then go on to clear the second stage as well, being one of 3 to do so. However, out of nowhere, he would fail in the globe grass, missing the 7th globe, getting second place. And now, Hen is back, the tower that he's been dreaming of making it to since Tournament 6, in the background of the first stage. Your favorite Hen steps up to the starting line. The last time he was number 50, he did fail the first stage. Hopefully that does not happen again. Hen, a very strong competitor. And he's begun. And this is his 8th appearance. That is crazy. It felt like just a few days ago that Hen made his debut. But he's only failed the first stage once, so maybe he can continue that streak as he makes it through, skipping that beam. He goes straight for the hop rocket. He gets it. Your favorite Hen is now into the jumping spider. Hen goes for the mount. He's got it. And your favorite Hen lining up the jump to the third ledge. He undershoots it. He's out. Hen has fallen on the jumping spider. His tournament's over. Just like Tournament 11, number 50, your favorite Hen will fail. What just happened? Hen, he was able to stick the mount onto the jumping spider. And then here, he just jumped too early. Oh no. He had the angle. You could tell he was definitely going to go for the skip there. But you can see he just jumped way too early. Came up way short of that third ledge. An almost rookie mistake for this amazing competitor. And Hen will end the first stage off in a sour note. Well, it is time for the Ninja Killer of the first stage this tournament. The honor of this tournament goes to the first obstacle, the Snakebite, for the second tournament in a row. Last tournament, it took out 10 competitors, but this time it took out 13. This includes newcomers, regulars, and even 2 all-stars. For these 13 competitors, they will have to come back in the next tournament to try and improve on their result from this tournament. Whether it be from the bad weather, or just making simple mistakes, these 13 competitors all failed the snake bite in one way or another. And now, these 13 competitors will hopefully have better luck in the next tournament, as we all wish they will. Better luck next time, competitors. And with that, the first stage is over. Moving on is Chasing the Worst, Crushery 1087, Kezin, Maddie the Div, K-Fly, Corey Sneeko, JT, Norwegian, Kai, and the Triple Grand Champion Paul Roblox YT. Corey Sneeko will take home the fastest time. But now, for these 10 competitors, they will have to face the second stage. The trust-filled gauntlet. Only 3 competitors could survive it in the last tournament. But now, these 10 competitors will have to give it everything they've got against this stage. Will anyone be able to defeat the second stage and make it to the third stage that has yet to be defeated in the Reformation Era? We are about to find out. Good luck, competitors. The second stage consists of 6 obstacles that our competitors will have to defeat. It begins with a brand new one, the octopus tentacles. 2 tentacles, both consisting of 4 slabs that competitors must jump across and then swing to a rope onto the dismount platform. After that, it's the modified crank dive, where now the jump boost is on every bar instead of just the first. Then it's the second and final new obstacle, the ladder labyrinth. On this obstacle, competitors will have to jump to a vertical ladder, climb up, and then press a button which will make it horizontal, and then they'll have to transition to a second ladder that is slanted. Then it's the triple compressor once again, and then it's on to the candle cling. The ring has been moved down by 1 block once again, and ending off the second stage is the tackle, just like every other Reformation Era tournament. Competitors will now have 75 seconds to defeat this stage. That is the longest second stage time limit ever. Well, now that we've seen the obstacles, let's go down and see what our competitors have to say about this stage.
I'm happy to be here, man. I'm ready. Kind of scared, but I'm ready. The hardest one, probably the one behind me. It's simple, but it's kind of tricky. The one before that is all, but it's all about like end rock jumps. Shouldn't be that bad.
I think it'll be good. I'd say the head hitters, that one really sucks.
A little nervous. I never have done it, so yeah. Probably the candles, honestly. I feel like it's small, just like me, but I think with my little legs we can make it work.
Hey, stop school behind me, the triple compressor. I'm really nervous about it, but everything else, I think I can beast it. Well, I think I'm just gonna take my time a bit more, as the time limit's more lenient, and yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully third time's the charm.
Very confident that I'll be able to get back to the third stage. You know, this is just so free. No comp on stage 2. This course is trash.
I feel like I have it in the bag, but also at the same time, I feel like I might end up choking. It might happen. We don't know yet. We'll see. I definitely can clear this if I lock in. Hopefully.
I feel phenomenal that I'm here. If you're looking behind me, this is Joey's best friend, Nora's arch nemesis, the head ears, bro. I'm pretty darn terrified. I know my bomb is gonna fail this, but let's hope I can give it my all. Realistically, if this wasn't here, I would have aced it, because everything else is easy, and I'm the king at the end of the day. But yeah, root for JT at the end of the day. I would like to say I'm feeling well, but you know, nerves always creep in. I mean, sorry, I'm glancing at something over there that I'm slightly intimidated by. I'm nervous, of course. I mean, taken me out twice, ruined my chances of getting to stage 3, but I want it more than anything in this tournament. I've been training so hard. I've waited so long. I'm not going to let my fears get the best of me. This candle fling is going down, or I'm going down with it.
I feel very confident. Seems pretty easy. Yeah. The one behind me right now, I think the vertical ladder is pretty hard to like jump on.
Well, 3 of the 10 competitors that made it here are taking on the stage for their first time. And Jason the Worst is one of those 3. Jason debuted in Tournament 11 where he failed on the first obstacle, but in the last tournament, Jason came out of nowhere to reach the flying chute where he would unfortunately walk off of the slide. However, in today's tournament, Jason was finally able to get revenge on the first stage, as he was able to stick the rope on the flying chute this tournament and clear the first stage for his first time, becoming the first competitor to do so in today's tournament. And now, Jason the Worst will be the first competitor to take on the second stage this tournament. Number 23, how will he do on the second stage? Jason. There are 2 new obstacles on the stage, the octopus tentacles and the ladder labyrinth. He's going to have to be the first competitor to face them if he can get there. Well, he will have to get to the octopus tentacles. As he's begun, 75 seconds this tournament. That is a 10-second increase from last tournament due to the new obstacles being a little slower than the super jump and throwback. And now Jason is in the crank dive. This one's been made easier. There's now jump boosts on every bar, so competitors are probably going to see them taking it a bit slower. And the jump to the 6th bar has been made easier. He survives the drop, and Jason will be our first look at the ladder labyrinth. He sticks the bar that is possible to overshoot. Ooh, he stumbles a bit there, but now is climbing up. All right, and he makes it horizontal. There you go. That's what's going to happen when competitors reach the top of the vertical ladder. And now he's into the triple compressor. This is the obstacle he said he was most nervous about. Jason misses the second compressor. Oh no, Jason. His tournament is over. Let's take a look at that run once again. Jason, he was the first to try the octopus tentacles, and he blazed through it. He speedran it. And then he was the first competitor to try the ladder labyrinth. You see, he almost slipped off that first bar when he missed the jump to the second bar, but was able to regain control, and then was able to defeat the obstacle. However, here on the triple compressor, he just jumped way too early, and Jason, a great tournament, but he is eliminated. The triple compressor already claiming more victims. Well, from one second stage first timer to the next up on the second stage is Crushery 1087, the Australian competitor. Closing that gate and reopening it. Alright, Crushery. Now his track records on stage 2 are pretty good on other competitions, but SASUKE Craft, we've never seen him try it, so we're going to get a feel of his skill on the second stage for this competition now. Crushery was nervous about the triple compressor, and that is where Jason the Worst just failed. And now Crushery going through the octopus tentacles, and he makes it through. Alright, time for the crank dive. Lining up that jump to the padding. Alright, Crushery going through the crank dive. Now the ascent. And Crushery. Oh no, he undershoots. He's trying to save him, but he's out! Oh no, what just happened? Crushery, let's take a look at that again. Crushery here on the crank dive. He looked good, he was going pretty quick, and then here, Crushery, he did not have enough momentum, and he tried to save it. However, in his last stage effort, he overshot the bar. However, due to him never landing on the 6th bar, that would have been a disqualification either way, but still, a very shocking fail from a competitor that had a lot of potential, but hopefully we can see him get back here in the next tournament. Crushery comes the crank dive's first victim of today's tournament. Well, next up on the second stage is the final competitor attempting the stage for their first time. This is I Love You, better known as Kezin, the Fortnite pro. Now, Kezin, I've never actually seen him attempt the second stage in a Minecraft jumping competition. I believe this actually might be his first time ever getting here. I mean, obviously, he doesn't compete a lot. But Kezin has begun. Going through the octopus tentacles. Traversing around on the second set of tentacles and onto the rope. And he gets the dismount. Alright. Kezin into the crank dive. Just saw Crushery go down here. Alright, taking his time. Kezin traversing through and gets the jump to the 6th bar and survives the drop. Something that Crushery couldn't do. Alright, on to the ladder labyrinth. Ooh, nice recovery. Going sideways. Interesting technique, but it works. Alright, and now Kezin traversing across the horizontal ladder and makes it through the slanted ladder. Now time for the triple compressor. Can he be the first to beat this today? Kezin lining up to jump to the 3rd compressor. He gets it. Just gotta get the dismount. Kezin is onto the candle cling with 22 seconds left. Lands on the 1st candle, onto the 2nd candle. Alright, going for the 4th candle. And he slams on the hanging candle. Gets the ring. Kezin's gotta hurry. The klaxon sounding on the tackle. He is mini but mighty, pushing this box on the track as fast as he can. It's gonna be close. Can he get it? Kezin! Yes, he's got it! I love you. We'll be moving on to the 3rd stage. It's an incredible feat. That was an incredible run on the 2nd stage. Kezin, he took his sweet time on these obstacles. I don't think he was aware of how strict the time limit was compared to the 1st stage. He had a very close call here on the ladder labyrinth. They did a very odd technique of going sideways, but it paid off. Then here on the candle cling, he spent a lot of time on every candle, especially lining up to jump to the 4th one. And then here, he paused on the ring instead of going straight for the dismount. And, you know, due to his size, it was a little hard for him to push the box as fast as he could. But he did, and Kezin has scraped by with 0.2 seconds left. A very close call, but Kezin is the first competitor moving on. Let's go see what he has to say.
I feel like I'm the real Minecraft Ninja warrior. I just know I'm here to win this one tournament. I got this.
Well, having to follow that as the first competitor that's taken on this stage before. And what is going on? Matty the Div, the veteran, is up. He has brought his car from stage 1 over here, and he is having to move it back with a wrench in his hand for some reason. I'm not going to question it. Last time he went down on the jump to the 2nd compressor, and his first 2 times he attended this stage, tournaments 9 and 12, he's failed the triple compressor. Actually did worse last tournament than he did in tournament 9. But now Matty, looking to get some revenge here. Matty the Div, 75 seconds on the clock. He's begun. Matty the Div traversing through the octopus tentacles. No one's went down here yet. I mean, it's not supposed to be that difficult as an obstacle. I mean, but if you're not careful enough and you try to play it risky, you could fail. As anyways, now Matty is on to the crank dive, climbing up, beat this in the last tournament, and looks like he's going to beat it again as he survives the drop, and onto the ladder labyrinth. No one's failed this obstacle yet either, and Matty also going to go sideways like Kezin did. And now Matty traversing through, going very fast, and now time for some revenge. Go straight into it. This jump he failed in the last tournament. Lines up, yes! Matty, for a new personal best, he's got it. You know he wants to beat the obstacle though. Matty has gotten his revenge, and he is on to the candle cling. Matty the Div lands on the 1st candle. Matty the Div overshoots the 3rd candle. No! Matty is down on the candle cling. He sets a personal best just to go down a few seconds later. I mean, Matty, we have to take a look at this intro. I don't know what was going on. Maybe this goofy intro made him unfocused, but maybe not, as he was able to defeat the triple compressor. He's been waiting for so long to beat this obstacle, and he did beat it, but it was all for naught, as here, on the candle cling, he landed on that candle, and just, oh, he crouched too late. You can see it right here. Matty the Div, he had the time, he had the strategy, he just crouched a bit too late here on that candle. Matty, a shocking failure on the 2nd stage. I thought he had it. I thought he was going to make it to the 3rd stage, but Matty the Div We'll have to wait for Tournament 14 to see if he can reach the third stage. Maddie heading over to his car and driving off into the distance. His tournament is over. Well, now we're moving on to the first competitor attempting this stage that has cleared it before this tournament. And he is looking to get back to the third stage because he thinks he can make it to the final today. The next competitor to take on the second stage is the veteran K-Fly. K-Fly debuted in Tournament 3, but would not clear the first stage until Tournament 5, where he would fail on the salmon ladder on the second stage, and then after a stage 1 fail in Tournament 6, he would clear the first stage again in Tournament 7, where he'd fail the downhill jump, the first obstacle, stage 2. K-Fly would then get his next stage 1 clear in Tournament 10, where he would finally defeat the second stage, becoming the first to do so that tournament with the fastest time. K-Fly would then put up the second best result that tournament and the second best run in the Reformation Era as a whole when he failed on the reverse panel. Since then, K-Fly has had a little bit of a disappointing streak, but that would all change today when K-Fly was finally able to get his revenge, getting revenge on the Hop Rocket, which eliminated him in the last tournament, and clearing the first stage. And now K-Fly is back up to the second stage. K-Fly, he's been training for the third stage, but if he wants to use that practice, he's going to have to defeat this second stage. It's a little bit different since he last saw it. A lot of these obstacles weren't here. The first 3 all weren't here, so half of them. But he has faced the other 3. K-Fly, how will he do? 75 seconds on the clock. And K-Fly has begun his attack, shifting to the edge of that start platform there as he's traversing through. K-Fly going around the octopus tentacles. He gets it. And now time for the crank dive. K-Fly was very confident in his abilities to clear, but he overshoots the second bar and K-Fly is down. Oh no, and he leaves the game. Let's take a look at that again. K-Fly, he had a nice attempt here in the octopus tentacles, took his time where he needed to, and then here, he just overshoots that second bar. Had too much momentum, and K-Fly, he rage quits the game. He was so confident. But no matter how confident you are, you have to be able to execute. And K-Fly's out. Well, now we move on to our second half of runners on the second stage. Kicking that group off is the new star, Corey Sneeko. Corey debuted in Tournament 4 and would not get his first Stage 1 clear until the next tournament in Tournament 5. However, he would unfortunately fail the first obstacle of Stage 2, the stop and go. He would then get back to the second stage for his second time when in Tournament 8, where he would get the fastest time on the second stage, clearing it for his first and so far only time. He would fail a crazy cliffhanger that tournament. Corey would then not clear the first stage until he was one of 2 to do so in Tournament 11, the Bloodbath tournament, where he'd become the golden competitor, where he'd fail on the crank dive. After a shocking fail on the flying chute in the last tournament, he would get revenge on it today, where he would defeat it, and not only that, he would defeat the first stage as well, for his 4th time, getting the fastest time. And now Corey Sneeko is back on the second stage, hitting the door, or the gate, same thing, but now he is here, the host of Star Challenge number 40. How will he do? 6 obstacles, 75 seconds, Corey Sneeko. How will he do? He's begun looking to get his second Stage 2 clear here this tournament. Corey Sneeko is through the octopus tentacles. Now time for some revenge. Now, he had a very odd fail on this obstacle in Tournament 11. He failed this jump and then overshot the second bar, but he's going to get revenge as he survives the drop. Corey, time for the ladder labyrinth. He sticks the mount, now gotta climb up the ladder. No mistakes made. Alright, Corey now going through. Now the slanted ladder, and now time for the triple compressor. He was nervous about this obstacle, but nonetheless, he looks like he's going to make it through. He will. Now time for the candle cling. He lands on the first candle. Corey Sneeko going very fast. Corey, can he stick the ring? Yes, he can. Corey has a lot of time left for the tackle. This could be speed record pace. Corey, is he gonna do it? Corey's Nico! Go! Yes, he's done it! Corey's Nico has just set a speed record on the second stage. 12.8 seconds left. Corey, he was able to get his revenge. He did not stop moving once on this stage 2. Corey, he made it through the crank dive, made it through the triple compressor, which he said he was the most nervous about going into the stage. He said he knew he could do it, and that is exactly what he did. Look how fast he went on this candle cling. And then here on the tackle, he shoved the box down the track, and Corey was able to clear the second stage with a speed record, the first competitor to ever beat the klaxon on the second stage. Let's go see what he has to say.
I'm really, I don't know what to say. I told you if I locked in, I would actually be able to clear it, and look at that, I locked in, even got in a really fast time. Like, how do you beat klaxon like that, you know? It's just have to lock in. Well, yeah, it's been years since that last tournament, and I have a lot of practice since then, so I should be able to.
Well, having to follow that incredible second stage run is the first all-star to take on the second stage of this tournament, Trigger. One of 3 all-stars to make it here. JT in the last tournament went down on the triple compressor, missed the third compressor. Let's see how he will do. Corey Sneeko just set a speed record. It's going to be a tough run to follow up. But JT, he thinks he can do it. He was very confident. 75 seconds on the clock. And he has begun. JT traversing through the octopus tentacles. Pausing a little bit there. And makes it through. Now time for the crank dive. 2 competitors have already gone down on this obstacle. As he's going up. He beat this in the last tournament. Should be able to do it again. Taking a lot of time though, JT. He was known for being a fast competitor back in the old days, but recently he's been kind of slow. Alright, climbing up the vertical ladder. No mistakes made. JT, 40 seconds left. He might want to pick up the pace as he heads into the triple compressor. JT, taking his time to line them up. JT gets through. Got the jump he failed in the last round. What is he doing? JT, spending a lot of time. What is he doing? That just wasted so much time. He only has 21 seconds left. He's going to have to hurry. JT onto the candle cling. JT undershoots the hanging candle. JT is eliminated on the candle cling just like that. JT, look here. He took a very slow approach on the crank dive compared to everyone else. And then took his time when he made it down. He had a very good attempt at the ladder labyrinth, but paused on a lot of bars. And then here, he was able to get revenge on the triple compressor, landing the jump to the third compressor. But on this dismount, he wasted so much time crouching out to the edge and then running back to jump. And then here, JT, he just had his angles wrong and came up short of the hanging candle. Trigger eliminated by the second stage for a second tournament in a row, and overall, the candle cling claiming its second victim of the tournament. Well, next up on the second stage is a competitor that knows all about failing the candle cling, as he's failed it twice. Next up on the second stage is the veteran. This is Norwegian. Taking a little bit to open the gate. There he is. Oh, he's backwards. The Roblox competitor. He failed the candle cling in tournaments 10 and 12, aka last tournament, and in tournament 11, failed the crank dive. This is his fourth time overall and in a row here on the second stage. He has the currently has the longest active first stage clear streak, as he is going very fast through the octopus tentacles. Nor looking to clear the second stage this tournament, as he is into the crank dive. Nor climbing up. Alright, that's the jump he failed in tournament 11. He's got that. Alright, this is where Crusher he failed earlier. And he will make it through into the ladder labyrinth. He was a little nervous about the vertical ladder, but no one has failed this obstacle yet. Nor, a little bit of a stumble there, but he's able to recover nicely. 40 seconds left, might want to pick up the pace. If he can go fast through the triple compressor, he will be fine. Nor never failed the triple compressor, but he's always been nervous about it. but nonetheless, going very fast. That's what I like to see on the second stage. And now time for some redemption. Nor lands on the first candle. On a second. He has never gotten past the third candle. Nor lines up. He's got it. Nor is now one jump away. Onto the ring. Nor is through the candle cling. 10 seconds left. Come on, Nor. The klaxon's sounding. Can he do it? Does he have the time? It's going to be close. Nor. Yes, he's done it. Norwegian, for his first time, will be moving on to the third stage. Nor, he's done it. After so many years of waiting, he has finally cleared the second stage. Had a very good run. It was a slow run, but nonetheless, it was good. Look at this ladder labyrinth. He made a bit of a mistake. He jumped out too far and couldn't land on that third bar, but was able to recover and get it. And then here, this is the one he wanted, the candle cling. He landed on the third candle and did not walk off of it like he did in the last tournament, and was able to defeat this obstacle for his first time. And then here on the tackle, he was barely able to scrape by, clearing with 1 second left on the clock. Nor, our 8th runner on the second stage, has become our third clear. Nor, let's go down to him and see what he has to say after that second stage clear.
Oh, I feel so good. I mean, like, this is just a certain, it's hard for anyone watching this to understand, but for all my fellow competitors, you know just the wave of relief you get when you finally cross that finish line. It's one of the best feelings in the world. Euphoric.
Well, there are now just 2 competitors left to go on the second stage, and the first one of them is the All-Star, Blushy Baby Kai. In the last tournament, Kai failed on the crank dive on the second stage. Let's see how he will do today. Blushy Baby Kai, 75 seconds. This is his 12th time on the second stage. That is incredible. He's only failed the first stage once in tournament 11. As now Kai is into the crank dive. Time for some redemption. It was this jump right here. Kai, he's got it. He's going backwards in a very interesting technique, but it's going to pay off as Kai is through the crank dive. Time for the ladder labyrinth. Alright, Kai walks off the first bar. He's down. Blushy Baby Kai will not be going back to the third stage. Let's take a look at that again. Kai, he got his redemption with a very odd technique on the crank dive. And then here on the ladder labyrinth, he landed on the first bar and just walked off. Oh, Kai, that is heartbreaking. I think what happened is that he crouched back too far and he couldn't react in time to press his jump button. Blushy Baby Kai becomes the first victim of the ladder labyrinth. He will have to wait another day to make it back to the third stage. That is so unfortunate. Well, there is just one competitor left to go on the second stage, the Triple Grand Champion, Paul Roblox YT. The last time he was here in Tournament 10, he cleared. That was also the last time he competed. Paul, only the second competitor ever to attempt this stage for their 10th time. Blushy Baby Kai was the first in Tournament 10. He failed on the candle cling. And Paul has begun. Hopefully he can end off the third stage on a positive note. We are currently at 3 clears, the same amount of clears we had in the last tournament. The most amount of clears on the second stage we've had in the Reformation Era is 4. That was in Tournament 10. Paul, he slips down, but he's able to recover nicely. Paul looking to tie that record as he is now onto the ladder labyrinth. Just saw his fellow All-Star Kai go down on this very jump. He gets it, and Paul gonna have a very smooth run up the ladder. Now jumping across. Going down. Time for the triple compressor. Paul going. He's never failed this obstacle. He's got it. The only time he failed the second stage was a time up on the tackle. And now time for the candle cling. Paul going through. Gets on that third candle. And he lands on the hanging candle as well. Paul through the candle cling. 16 seconds left to go. He's not going to get the fastest time. but Paul is shoving the box on track. He's still going to put up a very good time. 9.8 seconds left. Paul, if Corey Sneeko did not clear the second stage of this tournament, that would have been a speed record. But nonetheless, let's take a look at that run again. Paul put up a very dominant performance on the second stage. The only mistake he really had was here, where he undershot that fourth bar on the crank dive. But nonetheless, he was able to recover nicely and get his redemption. Then here on the ladder labyrinth, he had probably the smoothest attempt we've seen at that obstacle today, and was able to make it through. And then he cleared the tackle once again, getting revenge in it from Tournament 9, even though he also cleared it in Tournament 10. But nonetheless, he was able to clear the second stage for his 9th time. Paul will round out the second stage in a very positive note. 4 clears here out of the 10 runs on the second stage. Just like that, the second stage is over. 4 competitors were able to clear. Kezin, Corey Sneeko, who set a speed record on the second stage, Norwegian, and the Triple Grand Champion, Paul Roblox YT. Now, these 4 will have to face off against the most brutal test SASUKE Craft has to offer. Can someone finally make it to the final stage here in the Reformation Era? We are about to find out. The third stage consists of 8 obstacles that our competitors must beat. Currently, it is undefeated in the Reformation Era. It begins with the propeller bars, which debuted in the last tournament. 3 bars that competitors must jump across. And then it's the only new obstacle of the third stage, the Phantom Eyes. 3 eyes that competitors must jump across, very similar in function to the triple compressor on the second stage. Then it's the Globe Grasp, which leads into the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. This obstacle was modified in Tournament 11, and so far that version of the obstacle remains undefeated. Then, it's the Captain's Wheel. 3 wheels that competitors must spin across to lock into place and then jump across each of them. No one has been able to attempt this obstacle so far. The Silk Swing has been moved to the 6th obstacle, and that will now lead into the undefeated reverse panel, which has not been attempted since Tournament 10. Ending off the third stage is the Dragon Back, which remains unattempted after its debut in Tournament 9. As always, competitors will have no time limit to complete the third stage. Let's go down and see what some of our competitors have to say.
Well, like I said, very happy, very scared as well because of this stage 3 kind of the back half's pretty difficult. Front half, not really. I don't know. We'll see. Do I have to say it? It like. How does anyone do this one? Like this fucking 3.7. How do you do that? I'm kinda cooked.
Nervous, very, but also excited. This is a big challenge, the biggest challenge I've ever faced in my career. Obviously, I've never been here before. I've watched some of my friends and watched some other people, just fellow competitors, taking on this course. And I've been trying to study their techniques. And I can put my practice in, I can try to find techniques, but if I can't execute, then I can't execute. And that's that. I'll be taking a nice bath. But I'm proud if I've gotten here at all.
Well, 4 of the strongest challengers SASUKE Craft has to offer remain, and next up is a competitor taking on the stage for their very first time. It is none other than I Love You, better known as Kezin. Kezin has been a big help behind the scenes for this competition for a very long time and is one of the most known players in Galaxy Survivor, as he competed in all 3 seasons and is even the winner of Galaxy Survivor Season 3, Mauritius Fans' First Favorite. After doing some intro commentary, meaning the sideline report in Tournament 1, he would make his official debut in Tournament 11, where he would have the worst run of that tournament and the second worst run overall. However, today, Kezin was able to put those demons behind him, and on just his second appearance, he was able to clear the first stage. However, he has not stopped there, as Kezin was barely able to defeat the second stage, becoming the first to do so this tournament, clearing with just 0.2 seconds left on the clock. And now, Kezin steps up to the third stage. How will Kezin do the Fortnite Pro? I Love You. He's the only regular remaining in this competition. He went from failing the first jump of the entire course in Tournament 11 to now make it to the third stage in just his second appearance. Traversing through the propeller bars, he will make it through. Now our first look at the Phantom Eyes, lining it up. He gets in it. He's crouching before each of them, and it pays off as he is now into the globe grasp. This obstacle is what ended last tournament, as your favorite hen failed here, and he was the last man standing. But now, Kazin into the downward section. This is the harder part of the obstacle. Kazin, can he defeat it? How far can he get here on the third stage? He is one globe away from being complete with the downward section. He's got it. Just got to go back up. 2 globes left to go. He's on to the 11th globe. And is on to the 12th. And Kazin is through the globe grasp onto the ultra crazy cliffhanger. This modified version yet to be defeated. Can Kazin be the first to do so? Going around. First ledge. Alright, now lining up the jump to the second ledge. Kazin lining it up. Taking a long time. He goes for it. He misses the second ledge. I love you. Is down on the third stage. Let's take a look at that again. He was the first competitor to try the Phantom Eyes, and he made it look easy. He made it look effortless. And then he was able to defeat the globe grasp, which is not an easy feat. But then here on the ultra crazy cliffhanger, you could tell he was nervous about it. And when he went for the jump, it just seemed that if he jumped too early, he spent a long time lining up. Yeah, I think he just jumped too early and was barely able to not cling on to that ladder. Kazin, he is down. Let's go hear what he has to say after that run.
Fucking pissed. Fuck. My fucking fat little legs can fucking run. Whoa. I ain't saying nothing about my next tournament. Let's chill out now.
And the ultra crazy cliffhanger will claim its first victim of the tournament. Well, now just 3 competitors remain here in SASUKE Craft Tournament 13. And next up is the first competitor taking on the stage that's attempted it before. This is Corey Sneeko. Corey Sneeko has attempted this stage once. That was back in Tournament 8, where he failed on the crazy cliffhanger. How will the host of Star Challenge do? Corey, this has been a very incredible tournament for him. Got the fastest time on the first stage and set a speed record on the second stage. How will he do? Going through the propeller bars. He was very confident about making it far into the stage, but can he execute? He's going to full send the Phantom Eyes, and it pays off, going straight into the globe grasp. Corey showing off that speed. Corey, he thinks he can make it to the reverse panel. Is that his limit? As he is heading through the globe grasp. Corey misses the 7th globe! Just like that, his run is over much earlier than he was expecting. Much earlier than I was expecting. What just happened? Corey Sneeko. He was able to defeat the propeller bars and Phantom Eyes, and then he was going down. It just looked like he was overthinking it and rushing. He just completely overthunk the obstacle. Looked like he wasn't even nervous for it. And I think he forgot to go all the way back. Yeah, he did not crouch anywhere near the back of that 6th globe, and he's now undershot the 2nd globe, ending his tournament just like that. Corey Sneeko, his incredible tournament is over. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
So I'm shocked. Well, actually, it's not even my fault. Somebody over here on the sidelines decided to get in front of me and run, which caused me to lose all my confidence and my focus, and I ended up failing the freest obstacle on the stage. Like, I'm kind of... now I look like a fraud, you know? I look even more like a fraud. And it kind of sucks. But it's whatever.
And just like that, we are down to 2 competitors left here on the 3rd stage. The next competitor up is a competitor that's been waiting a very long time to attempt this stage. This is Norwegian. Nor. He has been waiting a very long time to get to the third stage. The Roblox competitor, now turned Minecraft competitor at this point. He has had a very good Reformation Era, and now can finally say he has made it to the third stage in SASUKE Craft. Norwegian. Now that he's gotten here, how can he do? Will the pressure be too much? Oh, it's already looking a little rocky there as he's saved it. That was a very scary first jump, well, second jump technically, of the third stage. But Nor, he's watched other people attempt this stage for the past few tournaments. Now he has his chance. He's traversing through the fan mice. He was nervous about this obstacle, but nonetheless, he will make it through. Nor said there's a very slim chance that he can clear, but he believes he could make it to the back half if he executes it correctly. As now, Nor is onto the fourth globe. The downward section. Corey just failed this obstacle. This is the jump Corey Sneeko just failed, and Nor is gonna fail it too! And just like that, that is the second competitor in a row to go down on the globe grass. His tournament is over on the exact same jump as Corey. Nor, it was a very scary run from the get-go, as on his just first attempt on the propeller bars, he almost slipped off, but luckily he was able to recover. He then was able to make it past the Phantom Eyes, which was an obstacle he was nervous for. And then here, I think what happened is he started sprinting before he jumped. You want to start sprinting and jump at the exact same time, and Nor, unfortunately, was unable to do that. He was talking about being able to execute in his run, and he just was not able to execute here. Nor, an incredible tournament for him, but he is down. Let's go see what he has to say.
A little bit disappointed. I want to blame Matty the Dude's chuddy car, but I can only blame myself. I think I just got a little too ahead of myself, you know. I got excited. I went a little bit too far forward, and then didn't get head hit. Well, I got hit it on the block in front of it, couldn't land the jump. I feel like I could have made it to cliffhanger. I feel like I could have beat it, but what can you do?
And we are now down to one competitor remaining in SASUKE Craft Tournament 13. So far, no one has been able to defeat the modified Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. But if anyone can, it will be this man, Paul Roblox YT. Paul currently has the best run in the era that was set the last time he competed in Tournament 10, where he failed on the reverse panel, so he walked off the third panel. And now Paul, the 49 fallen competitors, all their hopes rely on this one man. He has begun. Can the Triple Grand Champion clear the third stage for his incredible sixth time? Come on, Paul. We need you just one more time to pull through. He is now into the Phantom Eyes. Paul traversing through the Phantom Eyes, and he will make it now into the Globe Grass. This obstacle has been a killer this tournament. It's taken out the last two competitors. And he mounts in. He is now going up. Paul. Now, contrary to what the results show, Paul said this was the easiest obstacle on the third stage. But can he complete it under the pressure? Paul, this is the jump that Corey and Nor failed, the curse jump. He's got it, nice. Now, it's called the curse jump because out of the four competitors that have failed that obstacle, so far, unless Paul fails it, they have all failed that jump. Tim in Tournament 9, Hen in Tournament 12, and now Corey and Nor in Tournament 13. Paul is now one jump away, and Paul is on to the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. Another interesting fact to note here is that he's only the second competitor to attempt the third stage multiple times in the Reformation Era. The first was your favorite Hen. But Paul is now looking to get first place here. If he can land on the second ledge, he will get first place for a seventh time. He's done it! Paul is in first place. Paul will be your golden competitor. But you know he wants more. You know he wants to reach the final stage. Paul traversing through the moving ledge. Here we go. Paul. He lands it! Paul, can he get the dismount? Is it possible? Paul has beaten the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. it's been slayed. Paul, let's take a look at that again. He was able to land that ledge effortlessly. And then he spent a little bit dismounting. He was being cautious, but he made it pay off. Look at that timing. The timing was perfect. The jump was perfect. And the dismount was perfect. He was able to defeat the obstacle. And now Paul has become the first competitor since himself in Tournament 10 to reach the back half of the third stage. These are 4 of the toughest obstacles in SASUKE Craft history. The Captain's Wheel, Silk Swing, Reverse Panel, and Dragon Back. Paul now begins his attempt. He overshoots the first wheel! SASUKE Craft Tournament 13 is over in a matter of seconds. What just happened? Paul! Oh no! Paul, he put up an incredible performance. He got past the globe grass, which has seemed to have been the killer of this third stage in the recent tournaments. And here, once he was able to officially beat it, he got himself the title of Golden Competitor for his 7th time when he landed on the second ledge of the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. But he did not stop there, as he was able to defeat the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger, becoming the first competitor to defeat the modified version of it. But here, what went wrong on the Captain's Wheel? Paul, he had the right distance, but it looked like he crouched too late in a very similar manner to Kogi of Wisdom from Stage 1. Paul Roblox YT has ended the tournament in a very strange fashion. Paul, it is over. It is Zenmetsu on the third stage. The Captain's Wheel is where the tournament will stop.
That run was almost as best as I could have done it. I wish I could have been able to at least attempt the Captain's Wheel, but it's all right. It happens. I think the pressure just got to me that knowing I made it farther than anyone in the previous tournaments, and then I just ended up overshooting the mount, I guess. But that's how things go sometimes, and it's fine. I feel a lot of nerves, definitely, but I also think it's going to be a ton of fun being able to compete in the anniversary, and hopefully I'm able to put up a similar result. Thanks for the support.
However, this fail only fuels our competitors' passion for the final stage more. Paul, with fellow All-Star Jacket Trash, already analyzing strategies, and over target with Paul 2016, an old veteran who has not competed on this course since Tournament 10. The tournament may be over, but our competitors' spirits are still up, and you know they're already practicing for the next tournament. Today, 50 competitors came on to take on the toughest 4-stage obstacle course in Minecraft at Mount Midoriyama, but in the end, no one was able to defeat the third stage. However, our competitors are ready for the 5-year anniversary. They are ready for Tournament 14. Will anyone finally be able to reach the final stage? We will have to find out next time. And just like that, SASUKE Craft Tournament 13 is officially over. Today, 50 competitors took on the 4-stage obstacle course for the 3rd time in a row, but for the 5th tournament in a row, the final stage was not reached. I would like to thank everybody who competed in this tournament, and I would like to congratulate everyone for doing what they want to do or getting a very good result. Your support is always needed, and it's what fuels me to get these tournaments out. I would also like to thank the viewer for watching this incredible tournament and watching the tournament through the past years. It means so much to me, and if I didn't have an audience or the community I did, then these tournaments probably still wouldn't be out. It's been a long journey, but I am so grateful that it's happened. I would like to congratulate Corey Sneeko and Norwegian for tying for 3rd, Kezen for getting 2nd place, an incredible comeback run, and also someone who came back, the golden competitor, the triple grand champion, Paul Roblox YT. Well, the tournament's over, but next tournament is soon to come. Find out what happens next time on the ultimate survival attack, SASUKE Craft!